Good evening and welcome to BroncoTalk. I'm joined with a good friend that I do Arsenal content with on Mondays and Saturdays. Gary, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Doing good. Yeah. This is my first time doing one of these things, so this will be interesting.
Well, it's my first time too. So, like I said, I've, of course, you and I have probably watched the NFL pretty much probably the majority of our lives. So, knowledge is there, and the draft can be a little bit dry and boring. But if you're an NFL fan, especially a fan of a team that's not very good right now, this is probably it gives you that hope, right? Um, so this is an exciting time. I've been kind of following the draft the last couple of days. Your team picks at 12th. Do you want to introduce to everybody who you support?
No, but I will anyways. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. I've been with them for many, many moons since the basically, definitely, definitely. I guess I would say the late '80s, probably. So I've watched them when they were, Tom Landry, big, America's team,
Mm-hmm.
and then where they've changed ownership, still continue to win, and now as you said, some teams are hoping the draft helps them, and Dallas Cowboys are a team that's hoping the draft helps them. So yeah, I've seen the ups and downs, and right now we're like in the downs as far as where we should be. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
so so and I'm obviously a Broncos fan. So this is kind of a Broncos channel. Obviously, you know this, but we do talk NFL in general here.
hmm
But most of the mock drafts, have you looked at what the Cowboys are selected to pick, or is it?
no, I looked. I mean, they need a running back, but that running back, Ashton Genty, I think it is, will be gone before they even have a chance. From where they're drafting right now, it looks like a wide receiver is the best player available. Like they need to get offensive. They need to get offensive support. Running back is kind of key. They've been lacking a running back, so I think they're going to wait to get a running back later in the rounds, or they're going to hopefully. It would be nice if they just moved up and got one, but you know they need, as far as I'm concerned, defensive linemen and a running game, and that starts with a running back for sure. They usually have the line, they just don't have the running back. So that's kind of what I hope they can do this draft. So far, I think in the free agency they've picked up some players to help with the defense and whatnot, but offense is kind of where they're lacking.
Yeah, I mean, I think about the Cowboys, so we can pull them up here. I'm sure we'll talk about them a little further later on, but they're not up on here. But anyway, if I think someone said it perfect today. If you're going to pay um, Dak Prescott a lot of money, you better back him up with some weapons. And to me, I don't know what the NFL rankings were last year, but I don't think the Cowboys were in the top 25 in running the ball. It was not very good for them running the football. I mean, you paid CD Lamb. I think you recently had a tackle that retired. That have been there for a long time. But yeah, the playmakers. I mean, you saw what the Eagles just did with Saquon Barkley, and I mean that's a freak of nature. And I think it's pretty dictate what's gonna happen in the draft tonight. It's copycat league. It's always been. That's just one of those things where I think Dallas. So I did a mock yesterday on this channel. It was a complete disaster, Gary, and because I couldn't figure out the right system to use, right? So I couldn't find the right website that would give me the control that I wanted to be able to see. And even there's not a perfect one out there that allows you to see what was drafted without that you having to pay for. And in that mock draft, the Cowboys had traded up with the Giants, number 3 overall, to take Genty. But also in that draft, the Titans took Travis Hunter first overall. So
Yeah.
take it with what you will. But
Yeah. Now, if they moved up to the third spot and they don't take one of those two defensive linemen, I think that would be suicide. As much as they need a running back, if they're able to get one of those, two defensive players that are slated to go in the top 3, I think that would be crazy. So that's there's Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and Cam Ward. I don't, if I guess if the two defensive players are gone and they get third, then I guess you go and get your running back. But It just that those two players, those defensive players are it's basically Dion. It's funny is you've got Deion Sanders' son in the draft, and Deion Sanders' best NFL prospect, anyways, is a defensive back and a wide receiver. Quinky Dink, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you can see right here, Cowboys 429 attempts, 1,700 yards last year.
Yeah.
It looks like averaging about 4 yards a carry, which isn't horrific, but at the same time, I mean, let's look at some of these other ones. Commanders 526 to 269. Of course, that's also like probably skewed because of what Jaden Daniels can do on the ground, right? So there's a little bit. I mean, look at the Eagles right here: 621 rushes for 3,000 yards.
I mean, that's not because of their quarterback. I mean, that's because of their running game, I believe. Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he's not running that much. Not enough to. He's not putting 1,000 yards up or anything like that. They just, that's the thing that Dallas hasn't done. They just haven't realized that the run game is key just as much as everything else. And when you go out and pick up and don't go get a good running back when you had two opportunities, like last year was just like, I don't know. It should have been like shooting fish in a barrel. You had, 2 or 3 running backs you could have picked up that was solid running backs the previous season, and they didn't do it. Some that even wanted to come to Dallas and they didn't want to pay the extra, whatever, a couple $1 million to get a player that would have definitely helped them. I mean,
well, the pick is in. Not to interrupt you, but the pick is
already.
In.
Wow.
I mean, we already know this is Cam Ward. I would be shocked.
Oh, okay. You're on ESPN?
No, I'm on NFL Network. I love NFL Network. We'll get to this too in a second because of the nostalgia of the NFL draft. But we all know this is probably going to be Cam Ward here. I'd be shocked if it's not. So, I mean, I was looking at it. Also, the thing the Cowboys, for a caveat to everything is Dak was injured last year. So that does play a little impact into how effective the offense, because your backups, if you don't have your best player, or your best potential quarterback player, like that's going to impact. To me, it's going to impact everything you do on offense. But I think the Cowboys did miss an opportunity not to bring in a Derrick Henry. I think that was 100% a missed opportunity. But we'll see what happens here. I mean, I'm looking at the draft here. As far as Denver goes, and I'll pivot to my team. For me, running back, tight end are the two big needs. Maybe a defensive lineman, because I go back and look, and I think I could pull the stat up here. Defensively, this is offense. But defensively against the run, we struggled at times last year. We is up a mouse in my pocket. I mean, you can see we had 1,639 yards, third in the NFL on rush defense. But at the same time, there was games where we got gashed, and it hurt us in the long run. But make sure you're still on defense. Yeah, so you can see the Ravens had the best rush defense last year. But I mean, I would like a good guy in the middle that could eat the what's the word for eat the running backs. Like we have DJ Jones and Malcolm Roach as defensive tackles. DJ Jones got re-signed. Here we go. The pick is in, and
there he goes. No surprise, as you said. First pick is in officially. The commissioner has said it.
There we go.
Cameron Ward, or Cam Ward to those.
Cam Ward. All right. Let me pull it up real quick on Cam Ward real quick so we can talk about him for a second here. Let's see. It didn't. Does it refresh? Let's share this tab instead. All right. So Cleveland Browns are on the clock. I don't know why it's not doing the previous pick. So, yeah, Cam Ward, first pick overall. Miami Hurricanes. I believe he did 3 years with, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years with Washington State, as you can see here. Last year with Miami. He had a really good, this 23 year with Washington State was really good, and also the 22 year, but he really took off last year when he went to Miami. I don't know. So for me, like I like Shador more than I do Cam Ward. Again, like these opportunities really come down to, the right organization, the right coaching staff, the right opportunity. The player has to want to do it, and the talent has to be there. But this is the most important position, right? I mean, you've been watching this sport for a long time, and You have to have a competent quarterback to win. I think there's only been one team that didn't win the Super Bowl with a good quarterback, and that was the Baltimore Ravens. And that was a generational defense, right? Probably the best defense of all time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about comparatively, the Bears didn't have like Hall of Fame quarterback either
Mm-mm.
running the show there,
Yeah.
and defense can win it for you as long as you have the running game as well, but defense can win it for you. Yeah, got my Gators did play Cam Ward, I think in first or second game of the season, and I think he was susceptible to slow starts in games. Definitely in that game he was kept us in the game for a bit, but then he warms up. So if he does that, he can't do that in the NFL. Of course, you do that, you're going to be down a touchdown or two
Mm-hmm.
before you even look up. But the numbers speak for themselves. But as you said, Shakur has, I believe he has better numbers. He was like number one in completion percentage and all of that kind of stuff. So probably not even working with the same quality of wide receivers and stuff that Cam Ward was. So yeah, no, I don't know. When Shakur was being outed as number one, I was like, all right, but I think I don't know why. We'll see how far he drops if he drops that far, but I think that might be a steal.
Well,
Those late in the
Gary,
second
we
half
got
of
a
the.
trade.
Oh wow!
The Browns have now traded with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the
What?
Jags just gave up their fifth, the 33rd Friday night, the 36th. Let's pull this over so you can see it on the screen, but I'm barely see it. The 36th pick,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave up their first. They're going to get Travis Hunter, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a lot. That's a lot for the Browns to take in. And the best part about it for the Browns, and I know, so this to me, this still opens up Shador to the Browns at 5. And I don't. I mean, I still could be completely wrong on this, but that's a lot of picks to pick up. You don't have the Browns quarterback room right now. Deshaun Watson, Achilles is out. Probably not going to play again for the Browns. Joe Flacco, and then I think they traded for Kenny Pickett. So
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to. That's a situation, and we'll see later. I mean, to me, this is obviously going to be moving up for Travis Hunter, but let me see if I can get this copied so I can put that up there. But yeah, I mean that's what a move that is, and the tweet that was set up here earlier by Adam Schefter said that expect big things tonight. Explosive moves. So that didn't. Oh, there we go. Tonight's trade. I'm putting the what happened in the comment section, so if anybody's watching, they can follow. Yeah, that's huge. This is the best part of the draft. We just don't know what we don't know until it happens.
Yeah, no, I mean, people talk about trades all the time, and you don't know when they're going to happen, and you don't know what. Like, even if it's the last pick, a trade could happen, and who knows what happens right after that? Because
Yeah.
there could be multiple trades all on day one before you even get going. So, yeah.
Do you remember? I think we're going back to a little bit of time. What was it 2013? RG3 was it Sam Bradford's year? I believe Sam Bradford. The Rams. No, it wasn't the Rams.
What did you say? What year did you say?
Was it 2012? That was Andrew Luck, RG3.
Okay, I was gonna. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that wasn't. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So, if I'm not mistaken, the day before the drafts, the Redskins at the time, the Commanders now, but they traded before the draft because the Colts were obviously taking Andrew Luck, and they made a trade with the Rams. And I think the Rams got a ransom for that pick too, which probably ended up helping them, project to where they were later on. But I'm trying to remember who they picked up with that trade, but that was a massive trade. It was, I mean, there's been some big ones. I mean, we could go back. I mean, you remember when Mike Dick had traded him pretty much his whole first day draft to go get Ricky Williams.
Well, I mean, there's the not Walter Payton, but the Dallas Cowboy trade with Minnesota, right? They took the Dallas Cowboy running back, and that was ridiculous. I mean, Dallas Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls essentially on that one trade. I mean, they got their running back, they got their quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember who else they got with the third pick that they had, but they got Man, my mind's gone blank here. But basically, I didn't get the triplets, but I got two of the triplets basically for the Cowboys that in that with that trade, and yeah,
Let's see
voila,
this Dallas and Minnesota trade.
yeah,
They sent Herschel Walker
Marshall
to,
Walker, yeah.
mhm. And that was that because I think the Cowboys finished what 1-15. So here we go. Jaguars are picking the Herschel Walker trade. Well, I'll bring this up here in a second so we discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Just the reading of it. Let's see. And the pick is in, but they're introducing this guy. I don't think I know who he is. Got a gray suits are really classy, man. I love a good gray suit. I don't own any, but I'd love to own a good gray suit, man.
I mean, he looks like a football player, but you
Yeah,
never know it without the helmet. Sometimes, not that you need the helmet, but you can see him with the helmet on. But
that guy's definitely hasn't missed a day in the gym, if that's for certain.
no, no,
Who is this? This is
Eric Arstead, I think it is. Yeah, I think he was with the Giants, if I recall.
that name does sound familiar.
Yeah, I think I believe he was with the Canes. I thought. I think the Miami.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he plays for them now, right? The Jags now.
Yeah, he plays for the Jags now. He was with the Giants. So the Giants have picked up so many defensive players.
No.
None of them stick, and they all go somewhere else and look good. It's ridiculous what they do. So I
Nick. Well, that's the worst part of watching this, is you're waiting for the graphic to pop up.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like you said, the best best available supposedly is Carter, but best fit is Hunter. So you see what they do.
Yeah. That would be.
Either one works, but you get the most versatile player for you.
This is a tease.
Jarvis Hunter goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if we had a choice between the Browns and the Jacksonville Jags, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'd rather go to Jacksonville. Not that it's not like they're teams that are they're picking in the top 5 for a reason. But I just feel like going to Jacksonville's, I don't know. To me, it just seems cool. I don't know, cooler or better than the Brown situation right now. I just kind of feel like the Browns have done some crazy stuff.
I don't know if you're comparing the two. Absolutely, you're 100% right on that. They're both really dysfunctional.
Yeah, there's a different types of dysfunction. Though I think like the Browns' dysfunction, it just starts from the top. It seems almost,
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's accuracy to that. You and I have probably watched like Cleveland just be abysmal for years, whereas I think, for example, I still think that the Jags haven't been good at all, but they have moments where in 2017, or maybe it was 2018, they made it to the AFC Championship game against the the New England Patriots. That was the Blake Bortles year. And look, if you're also talking about this too, Florida probably a better tax situation for players, right?
Mm-hmm.
The weather's probably a little better in Jacksonville than it is in Cleveland. You're going to play with to me, a better quarterback. If you're Travis Hunter, does he play both sides of the ball? Because that's what he did in college. I don't know if he's going to carry that with him onto the pros, but
I just think I hear what you're saying. I just feel like I know that part of his whole deal is he doesn't want to go somewhere they're not even give him a chance. And
sure.
you know what? He's an athlete, and like I said, he's been touched by Dion. So you know what? If a player could do it, he would be one. I mean, he led the league in snaps last season in FBS. So he is, he's durable for sure. And if you Jacksonville could deal with anything that's like versatile like that. So why not? So I kind of felt like, you know what, you should take advantage of that athlete when you get one like that. There are not too many out there that can do it, right? So
No, that's
yeah,
very
yeah,
true. And I think I gotta I gotta look at who's on the depth chart with them, but again, that puts Genty still in play. So from a Broncos perspective, and even for Cowboys, Genty's still on the board because Jacksonville was the team I heard that was rumored. The other team that I've heard's rumored with Genty is the Raiders. But again, with this trade right here, kind of opens things up. The Giants are on the clock. I'm sure they're fielding phone calls right now about the pick.
yeah.
But again, I mean, it's a good pick for the Jags. It's a good weapon for Trevor Lawrence, and if he plays both sides of the ball, which I think they're at least gonna, because I think the graphic, I don't know if it popped up for you, but it popped up for NFL Network where they said, I think Champ Bailey did it, Dion did it, and then Antonio Cromartie did it for the Jets. Those are the last people to play both sides of the ball, and that's in 30 years playing wide receiver and corner. So I'm interested to see how that plays out with him. The Giants pick is in. It's probably going to be Abdul Carter, um, which will put us to. We're moving pretty quick here so far. Now that I say that, they're going to use all 10 minutes of the clock at this point. um, but right now, ESPN says the best available is Abdul Carter, with the best fit being Jalen Walker of Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, because you think about it, the Browns could move down again
Mm-hmm.
and get another first round pick, and maybe even, multiple picks in a, they could do some craziness. You know what I mean? As far as getting multiple picks in the first two rounds, because you're talking, maybe get a starter and then a lot of players that could potentially be starters for a team that probably needs a lot of help. The Browns, I know like moving down, it doesn't get you the top players, but you know what? You look at the NFL lineups. You look at the lineups. Not everybody is a first round pick. Nobody. Not
No.
everybody's first round picks is still playing for them. Not everybody's first round picks are hit every time. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah.
sometimes you want to get that player that might have a little bit more fire in their belly because they didn't get picked first. So
Well, here's
yeah.
the other thing to keep in mind too. Is all right now. Sorry about that. Car and Peyton don't get along at times. Anyway, so there's the thing to keep in mind about the running backs, and I heard someone talking about this today, and it really stuck in my head that like Derrick Henry, he's not with the team he was drafted with. Saquon Barkley, not with the team he was drafted with. There is a lot of turnover in this league at certain positions. The Giants are.
Yeah, so you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, Abdul the best player. Makes
yeah,
sense.
it
But
does.
my only problem with this pick for the Giants is how many defensive players are they going to bring in? Look how many, look at their draft picks over the years, you know, and how many, none of them are planned out. Like all of them. All of them not, and they've gone elsewhere. I mean, think about it. They had one of the best running backs in the league. They let him go. What does he do the next year? Wins a damn Super Bowl, right? Eric
That one,
Arstead, you see, he's up there with Green Bay. I mean, it felt like the defensive end they picked up from Oregon
yeah.
a couple years
No,
ago.
yep.
I don't know where he is now, but you know, is he going to stick? They just got in another one. Like based on that, they should have one of the best pass rushes out there, right? Because they pick him up all the time. I don't know if that guy from Oregon's still there, but
Yeah, he's
yeah.
there. I think they got him last year. I'm trying to look at the history of the Giants' first round draft picks. And so, wow, that's not good. All right, so here we go. We'll go back from 2024. They drafted Malik Neighbors. That was a big hit. We were talking about how good he is. Deontay Banks, cornerback out of Maryland, 24th overall. Evan Neal, tackle. Thibodeau was 2022 defensive end. They had Kadarius Toney, who played with the Chiefs. He was 2021. Andrew Thomas, tackle I don't know if he's still there. Dexter Lawrence is 2019 defensive tackle. DeAndre Baker quarterback. So yeah, and the last time they picked a quarterback was Daniel Jones in 2019. They picked him at pick number 6. So, and ironically, Evan Ingram was a first round pick to them in 2017. He's with the Broncos now. Played with the Jags. Yeah, I mean they've had some good first round picks here, but they've had some super duds too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. So I think the Giants, if I'm trying to explain what they want to do, just in my thoughts, I think they looked at what the Eagles did and they're like, all right, cool, run the football and let's play solid defense and let's get at the quarterback. Problem is the quarterbacks there are Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. I think Jameis is better, but they paid Russ more money. So Russ is probably going to get the start, right? But you just talked about the Herschel Walker trade. So I'm going to share this real quick here, just so for people that do know. But you can see here the Herschel Walker trade is the largest trade in NFL history. The deal was completed in 1989. It sent Herschel Walker to the Vikings. The transaction involved at that time San Diego Chargers, 18 players. Draft picks between the teams. The Cowboys were one of the worst teams in the league and finished the 89 season at a 1-15.
Yeah, I always thought it was 3-13. That's how I nixed that one from the memory banks.
Yeah, no one ever. The worst Broncos year I've ever seen, Gary, was 4-12. And yeah, but Jimmy Johnson really took all those players, and I think there was the way it worked out is if he cut them, they became conditional picks. To cut all the acquired players and take the draft compensation. So basically the players were offered and it was draft. So here we go. This is just dumb too. The Vikings had offered draft compensation for any player who was not on the Cowboys roster by February 1st. So Jimmy said, and I remember hearing him because I think he talks about this in one of the documentaries. He's like, hey, I had no intention of keeping anybody. And I'm trying to remember who some of the draft picks that came out of there, but you can see here's the players: Jesse Solomon, David Howard, Isaac Hulk. I guess it's Isaac Hulk. Yeah. Alex Stewart, and then they took Minnesota's first, Minnesota's second, sixth, first. There's a conditional on cutting Solomon, second on conditional on cutting Howard, and then Minnesota's first round pick in 1992. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I didn't realize it was this bad.
I didn't realize. Like when you put that up there, I didn't know about all those secondary things. But I know Jimmy Johnson. That's why letting Jimmy Johnson go because you wanted your shine and not him to shine is the dumbest thing ever I've seen anybody do. All he's done is manipulate the system to it's like basically to some degree for those of us who, since we are Arsenal fans, we know a little bit about what City has done, right? Mm-hmm. Manchester City has manipulated the system as best they can for their benefit. Yes, they have the money. Like Dallas has the clout, right? And they have the money too. But now you see what they did with this. This is shrewd, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Minnesota basically just handcuffed themselves, and they've never gotten even close to where they want to be since then. I mean, that set them back for a bit. Now it's just a matter of building themselves up little by little, but it's taken forever. You see, as we see. But yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize it. Like you said, I didn't realize all of that happened, all in the same because of the same. I knew there was a lot of players, but I didn't realize it's because Minnesota said, you know what, if you don't want to hold on to him, you know what, that's fine. You'll get an extra pick for it.
That just seems really irrational from Minnesota. I just wonder if Minnesota fired a manager during that time because that's a lot, man. That's a lot to sit there and just kind of that's a lot of risk, right?
Does it show you who they got in return? Because I know they got Troy Aikman, they got Emmitt Smith. I can't remember if they got
Here we go.
I don't know if they got Michael Irvin.
All right, here we go. Minnesota's first round pick in 1990 used as part of the deal with the Steelers to move up from 21 to 17, and they drafted Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
Minnesota's second pick in 1990 used as a part of the deal to get San Francisco's third round pick, and that was utilized to get Emmitt. Mm-hmm. And then sixth round pick They acquired Stan Smalga. Um,
Yeah.
Minnesota's first round pick in 1999. They got Russell Maryland.
You know, and that is a stalwart. I mean, I would say University of Miami defensive lineman, that bad man, bad man.
Minnesota's second round pick. They got Alenzo Highsmith.
Nice, good running back. Did he also play for University of Miami? I can't remember where he played for, but I think he might have come. I think he might have been for University. Because one thing
Miami.
about the one thing that Jimmy Johnson knew is he knew. I mean, think about it. Everybody said what the University of Miami's team, is closest thing you get to an NFL team in the college ranks. I mean, they're like that defensive side of the ball back in those days basically had what 304 definitely two Hall of Famers on it that I know of off the top of my head. But then no, it's got more because defensive lineman, he went to the Hall of Fame as well. So I think they had like 304 Hall of Famers on that, and basically I think 10 of them all are like legit NFL defensive stalwart, just defensive players, top defensive players in the NFL. So yeah, and I think later in the next year, I think they picked up. That's when they picked up. Troy Aikman in the next draft.
Yeah, but I think Troy Aikman was one of their picks, which is still. I mean, you got Emmitt Smith out of this.
But you have options, right? You have options when you have extra.
This right here is, I think, it's an underrated draft pick. The Minnesota's first round pick, so it was used and part of. All right, Patriots pick.
And
Will
Campbell.
Yeah, not a surprise there.
Offensive tackle, yeah. You got to protect your quarterback. So I don't know which side he's on, but whichever side he's on, he's protecting the quarterback. Look at that suit. Look at that suit, man.
I like it. NFL fashion is really underrated.
But the linemen are usually the ones that go out there sometimes and do it. Either the wide receivers or the linemen, they usually go out there and show you. Oh, they're going to show. This is the second, player in the first four picks. They're all going to show them against University of Florida.
Well, let's see, because my dad loves to do this right now. Let's see. First pick was ACC. Second pick, Big 12, third pick, Big 10, fourth pick, SEC. My dad loves doing this every year. Like, oh, how many SEC? That is a nice suit, though.
Nice suit. But I mean, I know coming up, we're gonna have a lot of Georgia players coming out. Yeah. So you're gonna have maybe 2 or 3 Georgia players get in the first round. So SEC will start to ramp up in terms of who's next.
So right here, like I said, this one, the 92 first round pick was used as a part to get New England's first and second. And then they used that to get Kevin Smith, cornerback, and then Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson was good.
Yeah, bad man, right?
Yeah. Second round pick, Clayton Holmes. I don't know how long he played for the Cowboys. I don't remember him that long. And then the third round pick from 92. But there's the other unsung thing too that I don't think is shown here is what Dallas drafted with their own like subsequent picks, right?
Yep.
So that's what's really not talked about there. But
because you look at that, it doesn't look as cool. But then when you think about what they did in that 2-3 year period as far as the picks, and maybe even a year before, but like in that 4-year period, the draft picks that they accumulated, and voila. Yeah, it was definitely basically the linchpin or the backbone for their Super Bowl run.
The Jags, the Browns are back on the clock here. I think they're either going to take Mason Graham or Jalen Walker. That's my thought.
Those are the Georgia defensive players.
One's a Georgia linebacker, the other one's a Michigan defensive tackle.
Okay.
So,
pick is in.
Yeah, I think Vegas is on the clock now. So this is where it gets a little interesting. I don't know, like.
I like I tell you, I almost feel like the Browns should like even move back a little bit more. Hey, you know what, Dallas Cowboys?
I think you're right because I'm a big fan.
Drop back to 11 and get like an extra 2 more picks in the first 3 rounds. I think you're doing well.
Especially if you think you can get let's just say, for example, Cleveland does believe in Shador Sanders, and
Hmm.
then you just keep moving back, and hey, look, we know we can get him if we move back to like the Jets.
Yeah.
But even then, I mean, I'm just wondering, like, to me, Cleveland needs a quarterback. Vegas needs a quarterback, even though they just traded for Geno Smith.
Yeah.
So they're not going to draft a quarterback in this draft in the first round.
No. Yeah.
Jets are probably desperate, even though they just got Justin Fields. How do you feel about that one? Carolina's not going quarterback. New Orleans is probably
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is also, which I don't know. Do you pick a running back in the top 5 pick? You want
I
to pay
think he's
that
good.
man? Do you want to pay him?
Well,
Like,
here's the thing about the running back, and the thing about the first round pick, you get that 5th year option. The bad thing though is I, I I was talking to somebody about this earlier. I think we've gotten really the game is brutal. Um, so running backs in the first round pick is kind of really running backs come a dime a dozen. But then again, if you draft, say you believe in a guy and you know he's a generational talent like Genty or however you feel about a Mario Hampton, and you're like, hey, we're gonna draft Mario Hampton in like pick 15. All right, and then I'm gonna say at the same time, I know I like this running back in the 6th round. Well, why can't you have 2 running backs and share the load
well,
together?
you need to. We've
Yeah,
seen like most of the teams that are out there that are doing well. They have two good running backs. Maybe they have one star, but they have two good running backs that are legit, right?
yeah,
Cowboys had like basically none. Essentially, they made their number one, should have been like a number three, essentially, based on how things panned out. But here comes the commissioner up to talk. I'm listening on ESPN. I have
you're
both
good.
ESPN and NFL Network.
I just love NFL Network because I'm a big Rich Eisen fan. So,
Uh,
but I used to love it when
here
Berman was on
comes,
ESPN.
yeah, another offensive lineman. No, yeah, it's another
Mason Graham.
defensive lineman. Sorry, defensive lineman.
I got the pick right here. You see,
Yeah, there you go.
Mason Graham. So,
Oh,
so think about that one. You've got Mason Graham. You've got you're bringing him in as your D tackle. Then you've also got that big guy, Myles Garrett. So
yeah,
what? So pass rushing, man. I think it's kind of it's the thing, right? I
yeah.
mean, you got to be able to rush the passer.
I'm so
Broncos.
surprised you didn't say good man's got the gray suit on, like you said. Yeah.
I don't like that one as much as I like the guy's first one. There's different shades.
Maybe it looks different on this guy because he's a big husky guy. If he had it buttoned up, you know what? I think, you know,
You know what? There is something about looking slim and looking fit in it, and then looking kind of like they shoved 10 pounds in an eight
that's what I'm
pound.
saying. Like he didn't button it in, so you just figure he couldn't button it in. It's like, well, you should have got a different cut suit, because you need to
Oh
be able to button that thing, man.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. It's still not bad. I
Yeah,
just see that other guy look better.
but the other lineman, like in his green suit, like that was even fitting right, and I still it was cool. This guy looks like a lineman. He's dressed like a lineman. It's like I don't need you to dress like a lineman. And dress like you're, a lineman. Just dress like you're cool, man. But
Yeah, no. So that's I figured. So you got to figure Cleveland too. So here's the thing I think about Cleveland. They just used the 5th round pick. Now remember they have their pick in the 2nd round. They have Jags, both the Jags, 2 2nd-round picks. So they have enough ammo to move back into the 1st round if they want to get somebody. Um, I don't think this will be the last time we hear the Browns called tonight.
yeah.
But
So now the running back pushes back at least one more spot, right?
yeah,
And
I think he goes off the board here. I think this is exactly where Genty goes off the board. Or, maybe your team or the Broncos could be making a potential move too. I haven't looked at Twitter to see what Broncos Twitter is talking about. I don't really get on there that much anymore because
yeah, I haven't since the season ended. I haven't done much. And I listened to a couple of NFL shows or the Cowboy shows, but in reality, I haven't done much as far as watch it. I kind of was like basically in pain because of the way the season's gone, and just needed a little bit of time away from the Cowboys. and
I'll
maybe
tell
I'll
you
get.
what I told my buddy. And we were talking about it at work. I said, "Look, it's different now. Let me pull this up so we can go to the. I'm doing a bad job quarterbacking what's up here. The Raiders are on the clock now. Let me see if there's anything posted up here on Denver Twitter. This Andrew Mason of 104.3 says, can't deny that the Raiders have some top tier weapons in Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers. Geno Smith is a decent quarterback, not elite, but not bad. Pete Carroll is head coach and knows what he's doing. It's a fourth place team, yes, but it's the best fourth place team in the NFL. That's if they take Genty. So that would give them Genty and Brock Bowers. Yep, so you gotta stay off Twitter. Twitter will ruin it for you. So it is going to be Ashton Genty. So, let's see if I can get credit for that pick here. Let's cheat a little bit. But yeah, that's the scary thing with Geno there.
It's not in yet, so there's sounds like there's some activity hopefully going on.
Yeah. That's the worst part about having Twitter, especially during the NFL draft. It kind of ruins it. People like to be first.
Oh, very true. And somebody who's there is like posting stuff and
yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I watched Pat McAfee's draft. I want to say 22, and it ruined it because there was someone always like some tweet they put up saying who the pick is, and it was just like I like to see the commissioner bring the thing up. I'm old school. I want to see the commissioner. I remember the day when you didn't know until, it was actually put out there who it was. But, that's a new age. People want to be first. And
here comes the pick.
Yep.
Ashton Genty is off the board.
Yep.
Little powerhouse.
Yep. And there you go. Ashton Genty is off the board. 6th pick, Raiders. Vegas Raiders. Which might be an easy way to do this. Let's see. Ashton Genty. Running back, Boise State.
So much for the green room, huh? Now they've got like green suites.
Well, I mean, if you watch the progression of the NFL draft over the years, and like I said, I grew up you grew up in the same era I did as far as the evolution of the draft. We had Saturday at noon, and there was 3 rounds, and then it was Sunday was rounds 4 through 7. Where now the first round has become this like TV event, and now you're seeing some of these. And it gets even worse the further on you watch the draft, the later in the weekend, the worse it gets as far as like the picks will come in and it'll be like some kid from, Make-A-Wish or whatever, like different organizations or military and there'll be 4 or 5 picks will go through and the TV will update later. Which again, I still appreciate. I still think it's a different presentation, but I mean, back in the day, it was Boomer, it was Mel Kiper sitting at a table and whatever pro they were loving at that time. I don't like to seeing Genty in Raiders gear because that now, for me as a Broncos fan, you need to ramp it up. And
yeah, I mean, they show him running away from defenders, stiff arming them on like the 6-yard lines. He rolls in for a touchdown.
He's good. He's their Marshawn Lynch. I mean, that when
he's got to gain another 20, 30 pounds, but yeah.
I mean, well, he's got that same style. I mean, obviously
he's more Emmitt Smith, but he has a lot of that Marshawn in him for sure.
I mean, that's such a I don't know, man. So what do you let me not think about this.
You're just gonna go out and get a defensive lineman. That's all you're gonna do, all right? Or a very fast linebacker, or whatever you can do to make sure he doesn't get to the edge.
Wow. Fun fact, though, my daughter's boyfriend's father coached him at Great Bridge Middle School, which is where he coaches at now. He was, remember, Blake's dad was coach for the middle school track.
No track too?
Yeah, he was. Genty was here. I think it was a military family at the time, and he ran at Grape Ridge, and I think he's in the record book for him.
No surprise, right?
No, it's really not. No, it's not.
Keep showing him. They keep showing him against compared to Emmett Smith. Yeah. No, I remember watching Emmett Smith as when I was in college. So basically, they had like a rushing stat up there. You might as well just said, Emmett's rushing because that's all it was. And a lot of times it was in the 200s. you know what I mean?
So you were there when he was there, right?
Yeah.
So
I went in, my claim of fame is I went into a couple of things actually. I went into the locker room to get my ankle taped, and there was Emmett Smith there getting his ankle taped. So we're on different tables getting our ankles taped. Hall of Fame running back, me.
There you go.
not the same. He gets drafted, right, and you know how it is. They were like. He comes out to the track because he stops practice to bring his car out onto the track to show us the new car he got. And that's back in the days where you just get the dealer plates, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So you got to see, he's a nice guy though. Every time I met him, he would just say hi. I think he'd say hi to anybody, but he'd just say hi to you. So really cool guy.
I think he's connected to Western Branch over here, which is probably 10 miles down, or at least his wife, maybe, or ex. I don't know. But that was definitely a connection there to this area for a little bit. But yeah, I predicted on this one, the Jets are on the clock and the pick is in. I picked Jalen Carter, and I know I keep hearing everybody talk about a tight end and everything, but I keep thinking Aaron Glenn, defensive coach. I mean, it's just, to me, it makes sense.
You need to make sure your side of the ball is working, and then you can build up everything else. It's another one of those teams that just has holes in lots of places, right?
Yeah.
So it says they don't need a quarterback. Who's their quarterback now?
Justin Fields. They signed Justin Fields.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, Shakur Sanders would have been a nice pick for them. I just don't think they would do him right anyway, so that's a problem. So
yeah, well, this is what I think is good for Shador, and I talked to a buddy at work about this today. I said I think Shador getting past all these spots people thought he was going to is going to help him out in the long run. Because what potentially is going to happen now is Shador's going to go to probably a better team with a little bit better structure. If you were to go to like Mike Tomlin, I mean, I don't know if Mike Tomlin can develop him, but I don't think Dion would worry about his son being coached by Mike Tomlin at all. Whereas, and I also think that's another spot where if Mike Tomlin is the coach of the Steelers, there's nobody crying for Dion to be the head coach. Whereas if you go to the Giants and Dayball's not doing well, there's calls for Dion to be the head coach of the Giants.
Yeah,
it's going to happen regardless.
Yeah. I don't. Is he NFL quality yet? I don't know. I mean, he might be able to talk it, but is he actually? I don't know if he's ready for that.
Well, we don't know what we don't know until they start playing, right? That's it's.
Well, you're talking about the quarterback. Oh, you're talking about the coach. You're talking about a player.
We're talking about really all of it. Well, Dion going to the pros also. Like that's a massive jump to me from college to pros. Like I think they're just two different types of coaches.
Yeah.
I think in college you're a personnel manager at this point, right? You're still an X's and O guy, but you're a recruiter. You manage people. You manage personalities. In the pros, you've got a GM that manages the contracts. Oh, Tom's in the background. Sorry. Hold on. Sorry, Tom. Welcome, Tom. Sorry about that.
Hello.
What's going on, man?
Hello. Oh man, this is so weird because I'm not used to in this situation. Spencer, I'm in your planet. I'm in your world. I'm in your wheelhouse.
Well, you're welcome as always.
Hello, sir.
That fixes in. Let's see what the commissioner says.
Yep.
Hey, hello there, Mr. Tom.
Hello,
All
Sean.
right, 7th pick.
I'm on Membu, the offensive tackle from Missouri, who's at home taking
There
the
we
call right now. So they went offensive tackle to
Hmm.
protect Justin Fields. Give him more time.
I need that name up there so I can spell it.
MEMBOU.
MEMBOU.
MEM
Sorry.
Mem Boo.
Yep, I think I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm gonna spell Missouri wrong. So that's always been a tough state to spell. I'm not gonna lie. There we go. 7th pick, Jets. So tackle. Let's pull them up over here. Let's go. Since I got this this
No,
fancy.
they didn't show him against the Gators yet. I think we played Missouri this year. Maybe we're lucky he didn't.
Offensive tackle. Really not much information. Let's see here. How many years did he play there? They don't give you much. 6'3", 314.
Oh my god, that's painful looking at that. Seeing someone playing in the NFL born in 2004.
Isn't it? 21 years old. 3 sacks allowed on the 1,000 pass block attempts in his career. Panthers are on the clock.
Played Madden I think it was 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I think my brother had one of them dodgy like PSPs.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, my first exposure to American football in the NFL, rather, it was my first NFL thing that I'd ever actually seen was basically when the Patriots first won it in, I believe it was 2002.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, because it was a big deal here more because it was the first one after 9/11. So it was in the way that they reported on it. It was basically like, America's showing its back, baby, and all that. To which I was like, okay, cool. But then obviously that then moved on to me playing Madden. I think it was Madden 05, and I didn't know the rules. Essentially, I was like, why can't I just kick it? To which I did then kick it, and I was like, why is it implying that I made a poor decision by kicking it on first down? In hindsight,
You had to learn the hard way. Yep.
Yeah. That's basically. I could have done that for about 10 minutes, basically doing that story. But at the same time, I was like, the history is I didn't know the rules, and I was basically doing all the things I shouldn't do. And then I ended up getting beat by the Cleveland Browns, which I'm pretty sure in any year on earth is a bad result. So
Panthers pick is in, so when we get back from commercial, we will find out.
So here you go. Other news are here from Adam Schefter. The minutes after drafting edge rusher Abdul Carter, Giants GM says they're picking up Thibodeau's 5th-year contract. There you go. There's but so far, Tom, to give you a quick, Cam Ward went to the Titans. Travis Hunter, the Jags traded up to go. Your London Jags, traded up to go get Travis Hunter.
Sorry, my what? Sorry.
Your London Jags.
I see what you've done there.
Just giving your hometown team a shout out. Didn't say you supported them, just your hometown team.
No. But you're doing your low key trolling. That's fine.
It's okay. It's just part of it, right? Abdul Carter went to the Giants, edge rusher. A tackle went to the Patriots. Mason Graham went to the a defensive tackle went to went to Cleveland. This is the trade went between Cleveland and Jacksonville. Raiders took the running back, and then of course the Jets just took a tackle. Gary's team's picking at 12. Panthers are next. Mm-hmm.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Stop talking nonsense. You know everything about me, so stop it. All right, nobody needs to hear all this. What? You support who? Stop it. Let's get away. Let's have a constructive discussion here. None of this nonsense talk.
Gary.
Yes, sir.
You and I both know well enough that Spencer decided this show was not going to be constructive the second he sent me the link.
Oh, you know what? Spencer's a little, He's a Broncos fan and a
I
Clemson
knew
fan, so there's something wrong about him. So
In all
we
seriousness,
all knew it was going to be constructive. It's just we have to inject nonsense when we have nonsense.
Mm-mm.
Tom lets me on his wrestling channel, and I know very little about wrestling at times, about at least the modern.
Mr. Tom doesn't know anything about wrestling, so
The-
I mean,
the modern game.
you probably up his game a little bit.
Well, I think he enjoys my presence. I don't know why, but you know, hey, listen, it's all about having fun here anyway.
True that.
I'm purely here out of politeness because, as Spencer said, he sent me the link, and I'll be honest, I hadn't even seen that link until I went onto Twitter and I was like, oh, I've got a Twitter DM, and Spencer sent the link. I was like, oh, Spencer decided he wants the show to go like that, huh?
No, I don't have your phone. All right, so I think they're probably going defense here, Gary. But my guess, I would have guessed maybe linebacker, maybe.
There's a lot of there's a Georgia linebacker,
Yeah.
Trey Walker. So
That seems like a possibility here. But yeah, your Packers don't pick until the 23rd pick.
Am I right in thinking you don't get a very high pick if you tend to, in terms of you're quite low down in the order if you tend to do quite well in the playoffs?
I think it goes by the final. It goes by the rankings at the end of the season now, not the playoffs.
Yeah.
So.
There we go.
Oh, fair enough.
Wide receiver, from Arizona. This is a Cowboys.
Oh, that guy's really good.
That's
too.
one of the a player that the Cowboys were slated, were picked to get in some of the mock drafts. So he looks like he's a speedy guy,
talented,
tall, slender guy. Ooh.
So we only had one trade, and it was a big one. I think the Browns and the Jags. They pick Carolina Panthers. Wide receiver.
Do you like the purple suit?
I gotta look at it again. I was typing out information on him.
It looks good up top. I think down below you're like, what the hell happened there?
Anyone wearing a purple suit will automatically look excellent.
I don't think I would look good in a purple suit. maybe some clown paint.
I'm putting faith on you because if you have the guts to pull off the purple suit, you're pulling off the purple suit.
All right, I'm not tan enough to pull that off. Yeah. Like I'm ghostly, so you put purple on me.
You're not thin enough.
Yeah, if you put purple on, you might as well just get your hair all green and your makeup on, and then you just go full Joker. If you're gonna put on the purple suit, you might as well just go full Joker.
Yeah, they might as well see if they need me, because they're gonna make another Batman movie inevitably. So they might need me for that. But I think he had a game earlier this year where he had 200 some yards receiving. I mean, it's a good pick. But their biggest need, if you look at the Panthers, was defense. And I'll pull it up here.
We watched it.
Of course, it's defense. They lost every other week.
They gave up a lot. They have 31 points per game. They gave up. You missed it earlier, Tom. Me and Gary were breaking down one of the biggest trades in NFL history, the Herschel Walker trade.
Oh no, he is. Yeah.
But
I'd be lying. Because of his son. It's because of his son. Is most of the reason I know it was.
Herschel Walker? Who's his son?
Yeah, he's got a child that was embroiled in some controversy. Let's just say.
He bought a present for the commissioner, whatever that necklace is that's made out of. I assume out of some plant.
Actually, I can tell you why I know Herschel Walker, because he was on Celebrity Apprentice.
Yeah, that's the nonsense that the Brits get.
Oh yeah, Herschel Walker.
They don't get these people in there. You don't get them, NFL. Like you don't know about him in college. One of the best running backs in college in his days.
I did know that. Am I right in thinking he won the Heisman Trophy?
Yeah.
I think he did.
I think he did. Yeah, yeah.
God, the disappointment in Gary's face when I said
Yeah.
something that was not remotely.
Yeah, yeah. You just
factual
remember.
about
You just
the
remember
NFL.
everything, and I mean everything, nonsense or not.
I'm trying to find the stats. I had it up earlier. I was looking at their
I didn't
stats
see
from
that
last
one.
year.
I know he was very good.
No, he was
Very
good.
much-
He was a good running back. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. As long as there's no follow-up question to me saying he's very good, then I'm happy to say he's very good.
Yeah, I don't know why it's stats. There we go. There we go. Team stats. Defensive stats for Carolina.
Most people from Celebrity Apprentice, admittedly.
So where's the points per game? Scoring defense. There we go. That's not what I'm looking for. I was looking for actual points per game. Team stats. There we go. Maybe. I'll have to keep looking at this. But the Saints are on the board, and this looks like the Sanders camp. He's got a drink in his hand, so I don't think the Saints have called him.
Am I right in thinking that Barry Sanders has a son that's in the draft?
Yes, you'd be wrong. It's Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders. Oh,
Yes.
Barry Sanders is a different human being, right?
Yeah, they're not even on the same. They're both Hall of Fame players, just different. They're on different ends of the spectrum. Like Sanders, Barry Sanders, you can barely hear him talk, and Deion Sanders, you're like, can you just turn that down a little bit, please? It's a little loud.
Yeah. No, I accept I'm wrong there. No problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to accept it. I mean, I'm
It
factually
looks
wrong.
like the pick is in.
Yeah, they're standing up in their in the room there.
It is kind of strange being in a conversation where I'm definitively the dunce of a. I will openly admit.
You know what? Don't say that because that
Talk
means
more
that
about
when
the
I'm in,
NFL
that means when I'm
however.
doing these shows, I'm the dunce, and I don't think that's how I feel. So let's not say that.
Here we go.
I don't want to. No. Take that back. Whatever you just said, because I don't.
No.
Kelvin Banks is in
directly
offensive
admitting,
tackle from
Gary,
Texas.
You know more about this than me.
Texas. All right, Kelvin Banks, tackle.
No, so take that back, Mr. Tom. That's nonsense. That's the ultimate nonsense you just said there.
I'm just enjoying the fact that I'm just sat here, basically learning things,
Yeah.
which I'm going to try and take.
There we go.
like
Ninth
gambling.
pick.
So this is another SEC pick in. I think this is like the third or fourth pick from the SEC. So after all that, like the first three picks are from this school.
Oh, listen.
Three of the next four are definitely from the SEC.
I only brought that up because my father brings it up, and I find it
Nah.
the most boring conversation ever. But he does it.
Well, you know what? The best conference is the best conference, right?
Here we go.
It is the best conference, right?
We're just doing a draft show, Gary, not an SEC property.
I'm just saying. You know what's going to be crazy? There probably won't be a Gator to go in the first round, and it's been they've I think at one point, even as bad as they were, they always had a first round pick. This might be the first year I think not one will get picked in the first round. That was a senior coming out. I mean,
so here we go.
Anyone from Bama been picked yet?
Nobody from Bama's gone yet. But yeah, so this is the breakdown. Banks started 42 games for Texas. He fires off the ball, walls off defenders, generates push in the run, effective combo blocking. Let's see what the post-draft analysis is. The Saints decided not to pick up a fifth-round option on Trevor Penning, marking a spot key need in this offseason. Banks, who started 3 seasons at left tackle, could occupy the blind side while moving 2024 first-rounder Talisi Fugawa on the right side. So that would give them the bookend tackles. Matt Miller's pro comp, Rashawn Slater. All right, Bears are up. I think they're taking Tyler Warren. That's my guess. Just for in the draft cast, I'm going to pick Tyler Warren here at the tight end. So that would leave for my Broncos Colston Loveland and potentially a Mario Hampton left on the board that they could go pick that I would think they would go look at. Um,
No, they're now doing some.
why do I know her?
The one in the black or the one in the red?
The one in the red looks very familiar.
She's from the SEC network.
Oh,
Yeah, Laura Lutridge.
is that
Yeah,
Laura Rutledge?
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Interesting.
Tony Khan turned up, yeah.
So they're talking about the schedule coming up. So they just interrupt the draft to tell us
Schedule release.
nobody cares right now.
I'll tell you what, Tom, and me and Gary talked about this earlier. Like, if you go back to some of the annals of, like, to me, the draft was peak in the '90s. Just for nostalgia as a kid. I mean, it dragged on, right? Like I do think there is better now that they break it up into days, where there's this. Whereas if back then you had 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, and by the time Saturday night, Holly was just trying to touch the sparkles on the TV on their outfits. Whatever. No one saw that, but I put it out there.
Wasn't necessary. I like your dress.
All right, shut up. She's talking about the schedule. May 14th.
So they interrupted the draft to tell us. Guess what? In about 3 weeks, we'll tell you when everybody plays.
Yes. You know why? Because
They have to get their 2 hours in or whatever it is.
marketing.
Because they're women.
Admittedly, I'm looking forward to it at the start of the Premier League.
She said it, not me. Do what?
I'm looking forward to when the fixtures for the first week of the Premier League season comes out. And
Yeah, you might have a game. You might have a game.
Yeah.
All right. The Cleveland Brown, Chicago Bears are.
Everybody's booing.
Actually.
You know what's interesting?
Knew
They're
that
not,
was gonna
they're
happen.
not really booing a commissioner this year. I don't know.
Booing the Bears.
They're not really booing a commissioner though. They usually would boo him.
Well, Packers fans are generally pretty friendly, though, right?
Yeah, but this is the draft. They don't just. It's not just the home team. Have you gone to one of these things before? I went to the one in Philadelphia.
What year was that?
That would have been, I think, 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
So you're the one that started a tradition of booing the commissioner, Gary.
No.
It's because
Here
of
we
you.
go.
I do have a very low key tradition with the draft. Is basically watching what Tony Khan does because he's obviously I kind of have weird ties to this of the fact of who else he owns as a human being, or his dad owns rather. And last year at the draft when he turned up wearing a neck brace because he'd been pile driven the night before. Real thing. And it was like, I'm going to sell this wrestling angle. It's like, no one believes you, Tony.
I do remember
you're
that.
in a neck brace and you are turning left and right like you're not actually injured. Meaning you might as well have not done it at all. You loser. Sorry, Tony. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I shouldn't go on Spencer's show and call Tony Khan a loser.
Are they doing the Walt?
Yeah, doing something about Walter Payton. I don't.
Yeah.
Walter Payton and Sweetness.
I don't understand the 50th anniversary Walter Payton's selection.
Yeah.
He didn't die 50 years ago.
I think they're talking about the year he was drafted.
No, he did die.
Because they. Hold on, here we go.
Now they're booing him. They're booing, like you said, they're booing the Chicago Bears.
What?
Colson Loveland, tight end from Michigan.
Shit.
So they got the tight end.
All right.
You wanted a tight end?
It's one of the guys I would have wanted. All right.
Where's your lot on the clock, Spencer?
Well, all right. So that's interesting now. Don't know if that. Let's see. I thought. All right. I'll shut up for a second and think about this one.
You were trying to get him.
I would have liked to have him.
He's a tall dude.
I'm gonna read. I'll read this out on Twitter because all I've typed in is Tony Khan NFL draft. And I'm just reading tweets about it. The greatest NFL draft tradition continues to be the awkward behaviour of Tony Khan in the Jaguars' war room. Congratulations, TK, best player in the NFL draft. Knowing the mark that Tony Khan is, I think Andrew Berry probably won this trade. I don't know who Andrew Berry is, but
He does fantasy football stuff. So this guy's pro comp was Sam Laporta of the Detroit Lions. Post draft analysis, looking at what Ben Johnson did with Sam Laporta when he was the Lions offensive coordinator. That's what Loveland will be in Chicago. His ability to play in line and be a plus run blocker, plus his versatility and alignments with the passing game makes Loveland an ideal chess piece in the Bears offense. And they're going to build around Caleb Williams. And here's the key right here. You're going to have Loveland and Cole Kmet, and then Rome Meduze and DJ Moore. So just more weapons for get Caleb Williams, Gary. I think this is probably.
Is he gonna see them? I mean, this is a tight end. He might be too fast for him.
Well, I mean, looking at what's been taken so far, I think this is. I mean, thinking about. I don't know who the best pick in the top 10 is so far. I really like Colston Loveland for the Bears because that just helps Caleb Williams out and makes them a better offensive team.
No.
I like McMillan for the Panthers here. I think that's another really good pick. But again, Genty right here to the Raiders. I think that might be the best one. But I like what the Jags did by being aggressive and going and getting Travis Hunter.
Yep.
So.
Yep. 49ers pick is in.
Yeah.
Wait for this commercial break. Yeah, Mr. Tom, this is like the worst.
Yeah.
Pick is in, and they're going to commercials, so they're going to get like at least a minute and a half to 2 minutes of commercials in.
Travis Hunter, he's the one that they traded for. Is that right?
Yep. So Travis Hunter was the two-way player for the Colorado Buffaloes. He played wide receiver and cornerback. He ended up getting the Heisman Trophy. I don't want. Do you want to call him generational, Gary? I mean, I think that's unfair. I think.
You know what? It's hard because he didn't. It's not. It's generational now. No, he's just a talented player. It goes both ways. I mean, would he be able to have done that at any team in a top 25 program? Probably not.
I don't know.
Probably not, just because I don't. Like he'd probably be a cornerback and that's it, and maybe a punt returner or something.
I think he's talented enough to do both ways, but I don't think teams would want to build their roster around. Like if you was to go to LSU's like, look, man, you could play a couple rounds on corner, but you need to pick either or. Do you know what I mean? Like they would have him situational. They wouldn't sit there.
You're not going to put him as a wide receiver when you got 6'4" wide receivers that can run just like him, probably have better hands, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, it's hence why he went to Colorado, and of course with Dion. So Dion played both ways, right? That was.
But Dion went to. I mean, I guess Florida State. As much as I hate them, they were all right, but not that not that big. So maybe you're right. You don't have to go to a big school to be that two-way player. But
I think you could probably get more opportunities at that point.
But is he? Was he? I mean, I'm just thinking of, wasn't it? Who was the player for Michigan that played both ways?
Charles Woodson, right?
Is it Charles Woodson? But they had two. They had another one, right?
Charles Woodson was so good.
Didn't they have? Why do I think there was another player? Who won the Heisman though? For Michigan, he played both ways. Played both. Because he did the Heisman pose.
You're thinking Charles Woodson.
Am I thinking Charles Woodson?
Yeah. Did they win the national title that year too?
I don't remember. Why do I'm not.
Desmond Howard.
Desmond Howard is who I was
Oh.
thinking of.
There we go.
He played
Okay.
both ways as well.
See, Tom, you are helpful here.
Yeah, no. When you said Charles Woodson, I was like, but that's not who I was thinking. Because Charles Woodson is safety. I think Desmond Howard was he a cornerback?
I did Google Michigan Heisman winners.
Yeah.
To be clear, I would never have known that.
Or do I have that wholly wrong? He didn't play both ways.
I'm messing around with the cameras real quick, gents. I'm sorry.
No, Desmond.
Maybe I had that all wrong. He didn't. I mean, I know he was a punt returner, but I don't know about.
He played some wide receiver, I think.
He played with some wide receiver in that Heisman year, but not as much as I think, not as much as
American
Travis Hunter did.
Professional football wide receiver and return specialist who
Yeah.
played in the NFL for 11
Mhm.
seasons. When
The
Yeah.
Super Bowl MVP also.
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
was
Desmond
selected
Howard.
wide
Yeah, he
receiver.
was also a wide receiver. So. Yeah. So.
He was I believe he was the first.
Yes.
Actually, it's quite an notable pick because I do believe he was the first punt returner, special team player, whatever, to actually win the MVP of a Super Bowl after getting a 99-yard punt return.
Yep.
Against New England Patriots in 1996.
Yep. That was Super Bowl 31.
Yeah, because
Maybe I have that wrong.
Super Bowl 32 might have been won by a team that Spencer is quite an affinity for.
What, 32?
I believe so.
Yep, that's my team, the Denver Broncos.
No, you know what, Desmond Howard, I got it all wrong. I don't think he played both ways. Punt returner, yes, but defense, I don't think he did. So you're right, Charles Woodson, but I just remember Desmond Howard scoring a lot, but I guess that's from either picks or from
They are booing.
his picks coming in.
They're going in.
They're booing the commissioner now because I feel like they forgot to boo the commissioner earlier. They're like, oh,
Well, usually you boo him to start the whole thing, you know.
I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that basically everyone in the crowd in Green Bay was basically upset at themselves after Gary told them off. And they were like, we'll show Gary booing the commissioner. How we do that? And they're like, Gary, you will acknowledge our
Michael Williams, defensive edge, Georgia.
Edge player.
Yeah.
Edge rusher.
He looks happy.
Yeah, 6'5", 180, almost 6'6", 260. Huh. Interesting. It's let's see how that way I don't have to spell it out. Edge rusher, Georgia. There you go, 11th pick. Cowboys are on the clock, Gary.
Well, the wide receiver they were supposed to get is already gone.
What if it's Shador?
Maybe they should let somebody take Shador at 12 and.
Wouldn't that be wild though, if that was the actual pick?
No, they're not going to do that. I mean,
I don't think so
that's
either.
stupid, but not that stupid. So
I could see them looking at who's the best available via this.
Best available is Walker, who's a linebacker from Georgia. Best fit is center back from Michigan.
You said center back.
Cornerback. Oh, yeah.
You were watching too much soccer. Sorry, I had to specify there. Honestly, everybody that's watching that
another Gators.
We normally all three talk European sports.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I would trade down if I was Cowboys, especially with Shador there.
Yeah.
Nobody suspected him to be this. I mean, I think people were thinking he would be dropped, but it's got to be somebody who wants a quarterback this earlier in the draft. Dallas should try and get multiple picks.
Yeah. So again, only one trade so far. A slam dunk trade. I mean, pretty, I'd say unexpected. I would imagine Dallas, he's called somebody, so they've drafted somebody.
Yeah, pick is in. So.
I wonder who they're excited over.
Receiver.
Do you know what I love about this? And again, the Jerry Jones jokes here. It looks like everybody's like, yeah, boss, we're happy with the pick, even though half of them are not.
Yeah.
Don't be the guy that's sitting there telling Jerry he picked the wrong person. 12th pick,
So-
Dallas
So,
Cowboys.
Jerry, you're paying everything. You pick who you fucking want, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, there's accuracy to that, right?
Pick is in. Here it is. They booing him.
Yeah.
Tyler Booker,
Who would,
a guard.
I admire him.
From Alabama. There goes your Alabama pick,
There we go.
Mr. Tom.
Tyler Booker,
Tyler
guard.
Booker, who is
Congratulations,
not.
You might do well this year because Alabama.
You know what? Tyler Booker isn't
good
in
players.
the. Let's see. I'm still trying to find his name in the best 25. Guess where he is? He's not in the next best 25 players available.
So
So,
there's a reason for that. Usually guards don't go this high.
well, there you go. So Dallas basically just screwed themselves.
No,
Maybe. But
I mean,
guess-
they do good picking linemen, but it's just like, you know what? You could have picked him in the early. He might fall into the early second round, and you can move up and get him if you really want him. But you got. I mean, I don't know. If there's, like I said, that's why I was like, maybe you trade down kind of thing, because why not just trade down, right? So
all
I don't know.
make sense from this is Alabama are now going to
Like-
say to people, "Come
Yeah.
and play here, and if you're a guard, you might get picked 12th in the NFL draft."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's see here. Tyler Smith is the pro comp. I'm wondering, like that's I don't want to say it's a bad pick because I love linemen. I think that's really a it's important to protect the quarterback. It just is. But
I've seen it a lot of times where they don't when they should.
Mm.
But I might have to agree with Gary on this one that there is a possibility you could have got him later. But again, here's the thing with Dallas. You trade back, but you have to have a partner, right? This is the other portion of this. People are going to want your draft picks. If nobody wanted it, if you think about how the way the draft is falling so far, Shador's still out there. Mario Hampton's still out there. Tyler Warren's still out there. I think probably Indianapolis is thinking about him at 14. But what's still out there, people are now sitting saying, I don't need to trade a king's ransom to move up to 12. So again, like you have to have that the partner that wants to make the deal with you. So
Yeah, I mean, let me see. Like I said, I don't even know where this player was in terms of did they draft too high? Because the thing is, you draft too high, you put a lot of money on a player, and then you're like, we overpaid, right? And then you
What
find
question
somebody
was
later
it,
in the
Gary?
draft who's just as good, and you're like, damn it, what's a. So I'm looking at. I mean, there's a channel I follow, and basically people are like, I'm done, and then some people saying good pick. Some people, they're saying dumb ASF. This team is a joke. I hate this team so much.
well, again, this is going to be the reaction, I think, when your team makes a pick. And I think for me as a Broncos fan, and I'm obviously on a different spectrum of what one of my expectation is. To me, I've got my mindset on 3 players in the first 3 rounds, right? Are 3 different position types. And I can literally live with those 3 positions being filled. So that's how I'm viewing this draft where, I want a tight end, but if I get him in the 3rd round and someone like Gunnar Helm from Texas or a couple other guys I'm thinking about later, like that's fine. I want a Mario Hampton, but Judkins is good. Henderson's good. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking just hit on the picks for me. I'm not really worried what I paid for the guys, but if you can hit on your picks, you're not going to worry about where you got them from. That's the caveat there. But again, like we all think about this thing differently too, right? So, for example, like I love the idea of trading back and getting more capital, but I hate the idea of trading up and giving away future assets.
Yeah. Well, that's why for me, I'm like, take the best player, and maybe you don't get him at whatever pick number 40, but maybe you get somebody just a little bit lower, right? So, I mean, it's people are saying it's a stretch. There were 20 better players on just before the draft even started than him. So, he's picked like 32nd in terms of ranking the player. So, like, you've got 20 quality plays ahead of him. That
Something we missed on here, Gary, and I probably should have brought this up. And here we go. I should have brought up the team's record and where they finished last year. That's okay though.
Cowboys sucked, so it didn't really matter. That's
So Miami,
why they're picking 12th.
The ESPN.
Are they drafting Einhorn? Miami drafting Einhorn?
No, we're not doing him. I get the joke.
Fair enough.
So this says their big needs are safety, guard, tackle, defensive tackle, linebacker. Finished 8-9 last year, second in the AFC East. The Colts are next on the clock. But yeah, I'd see if there's any post-draft analysis. Here we go. Dallas run game suffered in 2024, and the front office is now committed to improving the run game through the offensive line. Booker will line up at right guard between last year's selection of Cooper Beebe and right tackle Terrence Steele. With the retirement of Zach Martin, the Cowboys are immediately trying to replace a future Hall of Famer with one of the safest players in the draft. Booker wasn't ranked in the top 20 on my board, but the Cowboys' history of draw offensive linemen in round one is brilliant.
No, like I told you, I mean, they Cowboys do well with drafting linemen. It's just that they sacrifice so much more when they don't pick the better talented player, because then what happens is when you go look at them against other teams, right? You're looking at the other teams' talented players that, guess what, maybe could have been drafted by Cowboys, and they're like, talent overshines a solid lineman, but no running back behind him that's quality, right?
Yeah.
Without any quality second wide receiver, without that offensive, the defensive tackle that you might need, an edge rusher that you might need. So that's kind of where, like, there's a lot of it's a stretch in that sense. That's why it will work for them in the long term, but then you're like, when you get those talented players, you need to draft them early. A lot of times, they're not good at finding diamonds in the rough or actually getting them to improve on them. They're not building these players up either, right? Like, when's the last time a Dallas Cowboy player in the late rounds, just like outside of a lineman, have they boosted up? Right.
So here's the reality of this, Gary, too, and here's the reality of a guard. A guard's not a sexy pick. Right, a guard will play on your team for 10 years, and half the fan base won't be able to recognize him or even mention him in the lineup. That's how unrecognizable I think even offensive line can be. And again, I mean, so the people that are dogging on the pick, and I'll say this much with it. I mean, the Cowboys' running game struggled. I think you can find a running back later in the draft. You didn't get McMillan. I'm sure the Cowboys tried to call up and get McMillan or see what it would cost to move up to get him. I don't think it's as bad as a pick as now. I say that my team hasn't picked yet, so we'll see when they pick at 20 if I'm happy or not. So, but I get the sentiment of it. It's
Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle, Michigan, goes to Cowboys.
Right.
Cowboys goes to Miami Dolphins.
Interesting pick. Kenneth Grant. All right, let's put him up here.
Yeah. Don't know where he was on the pre-draft ranking, but
let's go look at let's pull Kenneth Grant, Michigan. 27th overall. It's a big boy.
They're showing the coach for the
Wow.
Miami Dolphins. You think he's a little kid? You just talking about Make-A-Wish. He looks like he could have been like that kid. He's so, like, he doesn't even look like he fits in. Like, he's got these big guys around him, and he's just like a skinny stick. There, like,
it's funny. Like when I see Mike McDaniel, because Mike McDaniel has Broncos ties. I guess I think he was a ball boy for them. But like, he looks like someone, like, they definitely ID him when he goes into the every day to the facility. Like, are you supposed to be here?
I know exactly. Like the kids aren't allowed in here. He's like, no, I'm the head coach. What?
I'm like, come on, man. Your Madden franchise does not count as you being the head coach. So
I mean, he's doing his thing. So he comes from the Shanahan tree as well, right? So.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, now I'll take as a Broncos fan, if you'd have given me like Kenneth Grant, like this is if this guy had fallen to 20 and I'd have been the pick today, I'd be a little upset that I wanted a running back, but I'd be like, all right, space eater, let me get that. So right now, Colts are on the board.
Yeah.
You can almost like
that's the thing about me. So for me, Cowboys pick a lineman in any round, they usually end up getting more out of them than not. You know what I mean? So if they get a third rounder, they get second round grade out of them, right? When they get a first round, like he's just at the end of the first round in terms of where they ranked him, right? So the fact that they took him 20 spots higher is not a stretch in the sense of a first round pick, right? But I'm just talking about pure talent, which is what Cowboys have been lacking, and they've been getting beat because of it. All right, I don't know. I don't know. It's a solid pick, but it doesn't get you across the line. Like Cowboys need to get across the line. They need something different. They do this a lot. They pick for the run lineman in the first round. Everybody's like, why are you going out getting linemen? Well, the line's good, but the running back behind it sucks, and you don't have enough wide receivers, so they just put double up on another wide receiver and say beat us with the other one-on-one with the other wide receivers, and you're like, you can't. Colts pick is in, and it is Tyler Warren, tight end. So there goes another tight end off there. He was the second pick available in terms of so if that was a tight end you were looking for, he gone.
Yeah, so now it's strictly wide receivers. I mean, there's other tight ends you can get. But this is a grown man here. This guy 6'5", 256. I mean, look at him. I mean, they're showing a direct snap. I think he had 17 catches in this game against USC. They're showing.
Showing him against Boise State in the Rose Bowl, I guess. I assume that's a Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
That's the only time they're going to play Boise State. Now they're showing him playing. I don't know who this team in yellow is, but one-handed grab, really nice from him.
Probably Pitt. Oh, yeah.
I don't know who. I think it looked like the Wyoming Cowboys.
How about that? Talented player, man. Talented player.
Now you saw they're showing the direct snap against Ohio State here, and he runs for about 20 yards.
Yep.
Maybe a touchdown. Does he get? No, he doesn't get to. He gets. Oh, I think they called a touchdown. No, I think this is Wyoming. It looks like it could be Pitt. It's hard to tell because I can't see the helmet.
Hey, Ash, you can let
I'm against USC, and now he's going to throw a touchdown pass down the middle to his fullback. Oof. I don't know how that DB did not get that ball. That is terrible defense. The DB's right there, all up in his grill. He still doesn't tap that. He looks up, he picks it away. Let's just say that USC defensive back isn't probably getting drafted today. Hey, why do we lose? We lost. Spencer. What happened?
I get the feeling you're not happy with your pick, Gary.
I'm not happy. It depends on what they do for the rest of this weekend, but no, right now, no. It's one of those things where they could surprise me, tomorrow or Sunday. Actually, Saturday, I guess. What am I saying? But
So how many days is the draft now?
Just 3 days. 3 days.
3 day event. Was there ever a time when they didn't have the time limit between picks, or?
I don't know. I don't remember if I think they've always had a time limit. It might have been a little bit longer than 10 minutes because I think it wasn't as broadcasted like this. So you just kind of find out about it. I don't think they filmed the entire thing, right? Did they?
I don't think so. So to give you a context, Tom, and I know you mentioned timeline videos, the movies, the NFL ones. The 1983 documentary is probably one of the best ones, and it's actually we can this I can pull. I didn't realize I could quarterback this. Oops. They used to do. I don't know where they used to do it. But the images of the place they used to do it at. There you go, as you can see on the screen. I don't know if you can see, and look how freaking. This is the. I don't know where this room is. Somewhere in New York City, but all the teams were sitting here, and they all had these little helmets that were phones. I think they were phones. It may not have been, but either way, that's the 1983 draft room, and they're not phones. Never mind, they're just helmets. But that's where they used to do it at, and nobody came in there. I don't even know what the name of this spot is, and I couldn't even tell you exactly what the time limits, but we can look it up. NFL draft time limits. Because I think the second round tomorrow night, so first round's 10 minutes, second round is 7 minutes. I think that stays 7 minutes the rest of the picks. Let me see if I can find this information. 10 minutes. Used to be 15 minutes back in the day. History. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. 2025. When did they change it? I don't have that answer. I have to do a little research on that. But they used to have more rounds back then too, Gary, and you know this.
I'm very pleased. I just sorry. I went on. I turned my sound off. I muted myself because I wanted to test that. Basically, you said 1983 season. Would that be Los Angeles Raiders win? Because that video for America's game is actually on YouTube. Seems to be working, so I didn't want to get it done for copyright.
So we are on.
I'm not making any money. You're good.
Not
I
even
don't
halfway.
make any money on the wrestling, but I still got my episode booted off YouTube within about 5 minutes of the episode airing.
I got you.
Yeah. I say not even halfway.
Got it back, but it's
Yeah.
fine. But they didn't get you in trouble for it. Sorry, Gary. Go on, mate.
No, I was just saying we're not even halfway. We're almost 2 hours. So.
Yeah, we're at the 15th pick now, so that's not really bad time, really.
I'm impressed you managed to get all the teams in at the bottom. I was thinking there's no way you're going to fit all 32 on there. But...
So here's a funny story about that. It actually ends up being 640 some characters out of the 2,000. But if you scroll it across the bottom, that's when you get 1,000 characters.
Yeah.
So
if
you know what? I just realized
stationary, you get about 200 characters, right? Sorry,
Yep. Broncos picking at 20. I don't think they're going to have to move. They may trade down at this stage too. I don't know exactly.
I mean, Cowboys would have been better getting Shador Sanders. Look at him. He doesn't have a phone in his hand.
My boy just texted me. So jealous of these guys getting drafted by teams like the Dolphins. Imagine getting a call for some dude like, "Hey man, you want to come live in Miami and get paid a lot of money to do it?" If I'd only been like a foot taller and a foot and a half taller and even remotely athletic. Funny. So the Falcons are letting this clock go down to bare minimum here.
So the pick's in. So
okay, all right.
The pick is in. So.
There we go. They must be late with the graphic.
Yeah, they're showing all the quarterbacks that dropped like over 10 picks from where they were slated to go. Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer Brett Favre, I think Boomer Esiason, Hall of Famer Dan Marino, Chad Pennington, Jimmy Clausen, Geno Smith. So I guess getting, this half and half in terms of, are you a Hall of Famer or are you, a good quarterback who can last in the NFL?
Yeah.
Here comes the pick, or at least the commissioner's about to send me on their phone.
All right, 15th pick.
Yeah, I've gone to when I went to the draft in Philadelphia, so you can see where all those people are sitting
Mm-hmm.
outside. Like there's an area that's covered,
Mm-hmm.
and there's an area that's not covered. So you kind of you're able to actually we're able to like you wait in a line outside this outside the stadium, and they let you in and let you sit in that area that's covered. So you get a good view. You get a closer view.
Didn't it rain
What
for the
kind of-
Philly one?
Not the day I was there.
Okay.
I was there for the first night, Thursday night. I think that was when the Dallas Cowboy, wide receiver got up there and was just like rallying up the crowd, of course, because it was Eagle territory. It was pretty good. That of course didn't happen on the first day, but
I always wonder, like, is it them traveling? I don't know how I really feel about it. And doing the draft at different locations, I guess it's cool for people to get the experience.
it comes
Because
to pick.
it made it sound like they don't charge for it.
No, like you just put your name on I think you have to put your name on a list, and it comes to pick.
All right.
Jalen Walker finally gets off. He's like dropped like 4 or 5 picks from where he was 4th overall, and he's going 15th. So he's dropped 11 spots where he was supposed to go. So there you go.
Huh.
Linebacker from Georgia. He's on the phone right now. It's going to Atlanta. It's not bad.
No,
it's not bad.
He's a linebacker, Georgia. There you go. Yeah, I mean, you would have. I mean, and like Daniel Jeremiah is talking about it right now. Like, dream scenario for both the Colts and the Falcons getting Jalen Walker and Tyler Warren without having to move, and that's really. And I'm looking right now, Broncos. There was rumors we were gonna have to move up to go get Mario Hampton if that's the pick. Right now, 16th picks coming in: Arizona, Cincinnati, Seattle, Tampa. Tampa's got Bucky Irving, so they don't need a running back. Seattle, I can't really speak to what they need right now. Cincinnati's probably going defense. Let's go over here and let me go back to quarterback, the screen that everybody and their mom wants to see. Arizona's on the clock, so the best available is Johnson, the cornerback out of Michigan, and then Harmon, the edge rusher, defensive tackle out of Oregon. And this is also a potential for the Broncos here too. And I'm bringing up Derek Harmon specifically because of Bo Nix and his relationship with the Oregon program and knowing Harmon from this time there. This is a possibility for the Broncos at 20, and I would not be upset with it. I'd like to get a running back, but a 6'5", 310 space eater in the middle of your line, that'd be hard to turn down if you're a Broncos fan right now. But
best fit for the Cardinals right now is Harmon. So if Atlanta picks who ESPN says they should, then he'll be gone.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know why Johnson keeps dropping. Didn't he get injured? I think Will Johnson.
He's only a couple of. I mean, as far as Jalen Walker dropping 11 spots, he's only right now dropped 7 spots, so not a lot. And when somebody from the 30th rank gets picked, it kind of just basically throws everything off. So,
yeah, I think he was injured, and I think that's why he's dropped. Will Johnson was injured. But Arizona Cardinals. Now the Cardinals in free agency, and this is something else probably should have brought up, key additions and everything. Josh Sweat went there from the Eagles.
you get paid, huh?
Yeah, can't blame him. Got your Super Bowl ring and went and got paid. So right now, Daniel Jeremiah's top 10 best available is Barron, cornerback out of Texas, and it just went off the screen. So actually, we can bring Daniel Jeremiah's best available big board right now. All right, let's refresh this, the draft tracker, and Daniel Jeremiah's best available is Barron out of Texas, Jaheed Campbell out of Alabama, Mario Hampton, Matthew Golden, Nick Amaniwari, Will Johnson, Mecca Agbuka. I think I pronounced that right. And then, of course, Shador sitting there at 20. This is going to be the story of the night. It's not going to be the same as Brady Quinn. Gary, when Brady Quinn had his drop, I don't think the Shador is going to mimic that because Shador didn't show up. But if you go back and watch it, Tom, you can see just Brady Quinn sitting there and his misses and him, and he just keeps dropping. And they thought he was going to be a high pick, and I think he just got bad data and ended up showing up and ended up being a disaster for him. As far as image-wise, he ended up being not a very good quarterback either.
Oh, they were right to let him drop.
Pretty much. But again, I don't remember me being enamored with Brady Quinn when he was in college either.
Yep.
I'm
with you on that. Nah.
He wasn't horrific, but he didn't it wasn't a needle mover. It's just like Jimmy Clausen. Remember, Jimmy Clausen was thought of pretty high. I think he was a second-round pick to the Panthers, and it just was a disaster when it was all said and done.
Yep, type Brady Quinn in, and one of the first videos that popped up on the main Google page would have been Brady Quinn relives his two draft days.
Yeah, it's worth watching. But pick is in. I don't know if
Here comes the pick.
You guys are a little ahead right now, I think. Gary, I think NFL Network's taking their sweet time.
There it is. Pick's coming. Walter Nolan, who was their the best available player. So, yeah, he is off the board. Walter Nolan. And he's the 5th pick available. So there are 4 players better than him according to this ranking. So there you go. Defensive tackle out of Ole Miss.
There you go.
Another ESP.
16th overall. Let's go Arizona. 16th pick. Oh. 16th pick. Arizona Cardinals. Only one trade so far in this draft. And that's the crazy thing about it, though, Tom, is the next day, the draft will just constant trades, people moving around. So I haven't checked Twitter because I really don't want to get kind of hints to who the Broncos pick is. But Bengals are on the clock now. Major needs: cornerback, edge rusher, wide receiver, tight end, and then guard. So let's see what we got here. Of course, Twitter is acting up, but let's see. Molly McGrath, I don't see anything. And then I got this one guy on Twitter. It says, "Why do I feel the Panthers have made the worst pick thus far in the draft? Hope I'm wrong." Let's see. He follows me, and for some reason, but he's a host of Upstate. This guy's on the radio, and he says he thinks the Panthers pick was bad. Okay. I mean, again, I think you can go to almost any fan base, and there's going to be mixed feelings about everything. We just and again, I bring it up again, Gary. I mean, we talked about the guard and the pick the Cowboys made, and your feelings on that. The Broncos, I wanted the running back, 2 tight ends up under one that are gone. The defensive tackle I'm interested in is still available. So I would love for them to get a running back tonight, but it is a possibility that at the end of the night I'm looking at the Broncos taking a defensive tackle. And
yep. That's
here's
right.
another.
Cowboys, there's the Marion Hampton's the 9th pick left in the draft in terms of quality out of North Carolina. Otherwise, is running back from Ohio State, 16th. But now we're already in 17th, so these are players that are late late first rounds, if not early first round picks and stuff like that. So and Bengals are pick is in, so we shall see what they do.
So here's the thing. I was just reading from Sayre Bedinger. He's on Locked On Broncos, and he says the Broncos are in a prime position to move out of 20 for a desperate quarterback needy team. And he's right. This is a moment where you can make someone's gonna make a really good trade tonight, Gary, because there's somebody that's gonna take a shot on Shador.
Yeah, Shador and his Paxton Dart is also a quarterback that take a chance on too. I mean, he's only 5 spots back from Shador, so we shall see. It's a little crazy that he has dropped that far. I mean, I don't know what you have to do as a quarterback in college. He had cameras on him all the time. It's not like he was not under a bunch of you had the cameras are always on him, and sometimes players don't perform when that happens. He definitely overcome all of that. Not too concerned about the pressure that comes with being a high profile player.
I thought I heard a report somewhere that people were making arguments or conversations about, does Dion being his dad and having the circus that comes with, hey, coach isn't going well. We're 3-9. Dion should be the coach. I mean, I think if that's the noise that bothers you from drafting a player, then I think you're looking at it wrong. Because if that's so, here's the thing: if that's what's keeping you from drafting Shador is because of who his dad is, then you don't really truly believe in the kid in general.
Yeah.
Because if you believe in him, you're not going to need to replace him with his dad.
That's an excuse.
100%.
You don't want to. Sometimes you got to take a little bit of the noise with players, anyways. Like you're gonna go out there, and get a player. Some of them are gonna be louder than others. You just gotta, you gotta manage that. And and sometimes it's the player, sometimes it's who they're around, and you can't get away from, especially if it's a parent like a Deion Sanders. So you should be able to deal with that stuff, right? I mean, it's your team and everything, so you should be able to handle that. It's all about the talent, anyways. I mean, he's performing like that with his dad there. It's a lot of pressure in that. Some kids fail, right? When's the last time you've seen like one of these Hall of Fame players, kids actually go out there, celebrities, at any level, go out there and perform? There's not many that do. A lot of them don't over. Like he's compared to his dad and what he's done in college. I mean, one of the best quarterbacks in college football, one of the best defensive backs in college football. He's not flashy like his dad. So that's the part that you're not getting the at least the shenanigans that you're getting with Dion. You know what I mean? You're talking pure football.
What I think is interesting about it, and this is, I think, the unsung thing about it. You've got Colorado was 1-11 when Dion took the program over. Last year, I think they finished 6-6. I can't remember what the record was, or 2 years ago. And then the following year, they ended up 9-3. And Dion is partially responsible for it, obviously the portal but Shador and Travis and all that stuff. I mean, we're looking. Cincinnati's not doing it. Seattle's not doing it. Tampa's not doing it. Denver's not doing it. Pittsburgh maybe. LA's good on their quarterback. Green Bay's good. Minnesota's good. Houston's good. The Rams maybe, because if you're thinking about
Jamar Stewart has just been picked. He is
who?
Shamar Stewart. So I don't see. He's an edge rusher from Texas A&M.
Yep. Shamar Stewart, edge rusher, Texas A&M.
Yeah. He is. Let's see. While you look him up, the details here. He's 10 spots from probably 8 spots based on if I refresh this, but yeah. Sixth edge rusher in the ranking, 22 overall. So ahead of his position. Showing him against who? Florida Gators. Yeah.
Well, you're in the conference with him, Gary. So this is kind of like
but all of them, all the SEC play is
Are you saying
yeah,
that
they had some of the good days against. I mean, they have to just show them against Florida Gators because they're haters. It's like we know this, Mr. Tom. You wouldn't know there's levels to this hatred that people have for the Gators, like they do for Arsenal.
so? The best way to bring this up, Tom,
People
and this
hate
is the best.
Arsenal. What?
You know who Arsenal is. You are knowledgeable in the English football world.
I don't believe anyone hates Arsenal.
They all hate us, man. They all hate us. Tell them.
They hate us because they ain't us.
There you go.
So, Tom, the best way to describe this, you know how you always bring up Dr. Leeds? Florida Gators were Dr. Leeds to the SEC last year.
Well, the 2 years before, for sure. Last year, they actually surprised some people. So,
Wait,
yeah.
so you're saying I need to start working on Dr. Gator?
No,
Look
not
when I
anymore.
started.
That time's gone. You don't need to work on that anymore, hopefully.
Hi, everybody.
No,
Hi, Dr. Gator.
no.
Yeah.
No, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I don't have any of the memes, Gary.
No, you were just about to put his face on there.
I don't know how to
felt
do
it.
this.
I felt that. No,
I'm
don't
trying
do
to
it.
learn. You guys are better at this than I am. The quarterbacking of the quarterbacking. Hold on. Oh, there we go.
The top left always is the lead, no matter what, dude. Remember that.
Oh, not anymore. Sorry.
Oh,
People want to see the image of the data, or the stats, as we say. Let's see here. I got to go back to it. And boom, there we go. Back to it. But that's really zoomed in for some reason. Anyway, yep. So Seattle's on the clock. Needed wide receiver, guard, center, offensive tackle, and edge. Finished last year 10-7, second in the NFC West. Did not make the playoffs.
Good.
2.5 minutes left on the pick.
the pick is in. They just kind of shaking hands. So either they made the call or I guess they made the call. So it's weird because Mr. Thomas, they were showing you the one little chair with like one or two people sitting there, and now you've got a whole war room of like 20, 30 people all in the room making these decisions.
Yeah.
Well, here's the reality. If you go back to that 1983, they were probably back then they used to have someone that would take the piece of paper and give it to the commissioner, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's still the same way now. They've probably modernized the technology, but there was a draft where the Minnesota Vikings didn't get their pick in time.
Oh, man. And like 3 teams, I think, jumped in and got their picks in before they could get their pick in. It was ridiculous.
So that shows you. And I think that was like 2003-ish. I think Mike Tice was the coach, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And
very Minnesota Viking behavior.
I mean, it definitely wasn't their best shining moment. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, you planned for this basically all year, and then you get there and you don't make the call in time. Next thing you know, all your picks, any potential picks are gone, and you had nothing to do about it. Because as soon as people realize the pick is in, then they're like, "Pick is in! All right, get our pick in."
I imagine their head coach was like, "Oh, we can have this player, we can have that player," and then they turn around and go, "Yeah, actually, we didn't get the pick in at all. You didn't what? Sorry."
I don't know how you rebound from that.
You rebound from it by basically making your fist rebound off the face of the person that was supposed to get the pick.
Here's a pick for Seattle Seahawks. Great Zabel.
They'll make a bad pick.
Guard from North Dakota. So there goes another guard off the table in the first round. And let me just tell you, he is 17th in terms of where and it's 17th best available. So, in reality, he shouldn't even be picked right now. But I think this is how things go sometimes, right? A position player gets taken off, and then next you know, you look around, and you're like, we need a guard. You know, there's going to be a run of guards at some point because, you know, supposedly the best one is already off the board. It's another one off the board.
It's interesting.
And he's 17th, and Shakur is 19th in terms of available. So
Tampa's on the clock here. So when Denver's on the clock, Gary, since you're about 10 seconds ahead, let me edge up into it. You know what I'm saying? Don't ruin it for me.
I won't say a word. I want to. I don't know what. The what?
I'm 10 seconds behind. You're good. You're good. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Tampa at 19.
This is supposed to be a late. This is a stretch as a late first round pick. Definitely a second round pick.
Explain to me why the Catan board was out, like the board game, like why that was out. Just sitting there, like looking like awkward, like somebody was playing it but not playing it. Like it was like, hey, look, we're intelligent. I don't know. I've never played the game, so I don't know anything about it.
When you said it, I was like, what are you talking? Are you talking to somebody at your house? Game. I didn't see that. I wasn't actually looking at. I was just looking at the guy on the phone, so to see what he
right next to him. It was weird.
Oh no, I didn't look down there. So you are too busy looking at all the peripherals about what's going on.
Viewer in the chat, Mr. Spencer.
Do what?
Got a viewer in the chat.
Yeah.
Come on, what's going on, Dominic?
Giants fan here. Arsenal domination. I'm live on a Giants stream, but checking to see how you guys are feeling. As a Cowboy fan, I'm like, another lineman in the first round. Yay.
So Dominic is he's helps out with Gooner Gathering with Lee Meadows.
Okay.
Yeah. He's an Arsenal fan. Yeah. Well, he put out in the group chat last night, like, hey, we're doing the Giants draft, blah blah blah, and I had no idea he was an NFL fan. So, this since you're watching, this is the gentleman up top, and I can click on him. Yeah, this gentleman runs TWTT, and me and him or on Tuesday on Monday nights, and then the gentleman at the bottom here, Mr. Tom, he hangs out on Saturdays with myself, Gary, and Sam Greenwood, and we talk Arsenal. And Saturday's usually a lot of nonsense. So, but welcome. So,
yeah, Giants.
My best to de-Arsenal that show.
And Tom's not an Arsenal fan; he is a Derby County fan.
Yes, he's actually. I believe he's an Everton fan. To tell you the truth, I think that's really, and Manchester United. He loves Manchester United.
Yes.
But Everton is his love.
I like Everton, Derby, and Manchester United.
You open yourself up to the world, taking all that love.
See?
I see.
Actually, he likes Leeds, but most people know that.
Not really much I can say to all that racism. That was
all that racism. I wish you knew what that word means. It's we have to get a dictionary for you.
I'm glad that I don't. Clearly, it's an awful thing in the world.
All right.
So here's the big thing I'll say if Tom's still watching. Like, I'm surprised how many lack of trades we've seen tonight. I don't think the Giants screwed their pick up either. I don't think we're done seeing the Giants or the Browns tonight. Hint, hint. That's my gut feeling. I think we're likely to see the Browns again. And maybe the Browns are like, hey, we can get Shador.
They got 3 of the first 33 picks. I mean, if you said you can get every 10 picks, you're going to have a draft. All right, I'll do that. All right?
No, I mean, I think again, this is you don't win the Super Bowl by hitting on your first round pick. You win the Super Bowl and stuff like that by hitting on picks 2 through 5, your second, your third, and your fourth and your fifth round. So like your first round players are your star players, and then your second, third, and fourth round players are like your core guys that you can build around. Mm-hmm. I think one of the best drafts I remember seeing is the Ravens had a really good draft one year where I think they took a tight end, and I think they ended up taking a tackle and Ray Lewis or something. They just hit on so many picks. But the reality is, like, you can go through the draft, and maybe we should have done a pre-show or something, but you can go look at most teams' drafts, and there's misses up and down. Fourth round picks miss, third round picks miss. I mean, Denver cut Greg Dulcich this season, and he the big hats are kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, those things I just don't get those.
I don't either.
If the Bucks pick is in, They've got a Shador, and they're talking about Shador right now. But the Dolphins, the Falcons, and the Steelers are like the highest percentage teams that might we're like the teams that might pick him actually, and so there you go.
Again,
Steelers is still there, right?
Who?
Steelers is still there.
Yeah.
Steelers might be able to get their man. And there's a person with a big hat at the Sanders house. Sanders is Shakur is there next to his dad.
I think Baker's going to be very happy with this pick. I looked on Twitter. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to put it out there until it's time. But I don't know, for some reason, people love to break the news early, man.
Yeah.
I'll spoil it.
No, you don't.
What's
No, don't even. You've already lost it. It's too late. It's too late.
They've already drafted Herschel Walker.
There you go. Here comes the pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here we go.
I was trying to think what player can I say that's obviously not.
Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver from Ohio State. He is not in the first. He's the 23rd as far as available. 23rd available. A third available player. So second round pick going in. Now it goes in the first round. So
ESPN has him as 40 overall, 87 grade, fourth wide receiver on the board.
Yeah,
interesting.
And he went ahead of. He just went ahead of. Nope.
Man,
he was the first Ohio State player to get picked out of the three that were slated. 6'1", 202. Yeah. So under 4.5. So speedy guy.
Ohio State's last 5 drafts, first round. Interesting. I wonder why he's wet. My car just came downstairs, and for some reason he's drenched with water. I don't know why. Interesting. Anyway, Denver Broncos I wonder if we're going to trade out, man. I really would. I'd love to know what's going to happen here.
Tell somebody you got Shakur. You can go get him, Shador.
Yeah,
man. Right now.
Make a deal on a
Get it while it's hot. Get it while it's hot. Got 4 minutes left.
Broncos made a pick, apparently.
Oh, you're cheating. You're cheating.
I had to see my team, Gary.
You're cheating, man. You're cheating.
Broncos are not trading. That's all I know.
The phone has gone down. The man, Tampa Bay head coach, has put the phone down, so he's talked to whoever. They are all clapping.
That's Amari Hampton. I imagine. I don't know. I really don't know when I say this. I'm assuming it's Amari Hampton, but
Todd, you see the coach. So we haven't gone to the commissioner yet. So
isn't that wild though? 205 receptions is the Ohio State record for a wide receiver. I mean, that equals what? 50 a season.
Yeah, it's not much, man.
Yeah, you would think that would be more, right?
When you're spreading it around, though, you know, that's the thing. In Ohio State, you're probably spreading it around because you probably have, maybe freshmen and all that are pulling some of those stats away from you. A running game that's solid. So, yeah.
So, per Jordan Schultz, this is on Twitter, Fox Sports NFL Insider, the Giants are actively trying to get back into round 1.
Yeah, they have the second round pick, I think, in the just before the Browns.
Yeah.
The Browns have the first and I think fourth pick in the second round, so they could definitely jump in if they wanted to, and if there was somebody they wanted, like if they wanted Shador Sanders, they could jump in and get him for the second round picks potentially.
Well, I think that's what they want. I think the Giants want Shador Sanders. Or again, Pittsburgh at 21. I heard rumors, people saying that Pittsburgh might look at Jackson Dart, Mississippi quarterback.
Yeah,
that's a possibility.
I was saying, okay. Yeah.
So they're showing Denver stats, 18.3 points per game, third in the NFL last year, given up on defense, 63 sacks, 134 quarterback hits, signed a linebacker Dre Greenlaw in the offseason, and safety Taliana Hufunga. I got to get that, man. First round pick since 2020, 2024, Bo Nix, naturally. 2023 did not have a first round pick, and 2022, no first round pick either.
Yeah.
Oh, Russell Wilson.
I was saying the Browns could jump into the second round because they got two picks in the first 4 picks, whereas the Giants just have the 1. But yeah. Yep. It got 90 seconds, so this commercial is probably going to go another 90 seconds of commercials over here.
Putting commercials on me.
2020 Jerry Jeudy. Evan Ingram was added. Trent Sherfield, that was the free agent from Minnesota. Hey, is the kitten upstairs? Oh no. Can you see if you can put eyes on the kitten? Kitten. Thanks.
Ashley.
I'm looking at a photograph of Jack Nicholson, Kerry Fisher, and Rick James together sometime in the 80s, and the caption under it is, "There's only one thing that brought these people together."
Yeah, I've seen that meme. We know what it is too.
And it's one hell of a drug.
Oh, I was gonna say the powdery stuff, right?
Yep.
Rich powder.
Yeah. Quite right, Gary. Quite right.
Snort it, Hollywood. Is that lady says in the song?
Yeah. I mean, the same joke could be made if it was just Rick James on his own.
Yeah. The Giants are trying to get back in the first round. Per Mike Garfolo, NFL Network. Bald-headed guy. His Twitter image says no bad hair days. And he's bald. No trade in front of the Steelers. The Broncos stay put at 1. Who are they talking about?
You said Amarion Hampton is what you said?
I think so.
Yeah. He's in the top 5 as the best available according to Mel Kiper. So there you go. Is it Golden? There's
as well.
Yeah. So Shador. You sure you don't want a Shador? Any little controversy in Denver? Sounds like you know who the pick is.
It's nowhere what I would have assumed.
It's probably a guard.
No, it's a cornerback.
Oh, okay.
Is it Russell Wilson again?
No, it's cornerback Jaheed Barron.
Yeah, from Texas. I see that here. Let's see. 5'11", 194. Small guy. 4.4 speed, though. He's going to recover. His arms are short, but his timing and technique breaking up passes stand out on tape. Tied for second in SEC in the interceptions. He'll line up over the slot, so he can come inside. Give you a part of the.
Let's look him up.
Come in as a 5th DB.
I need offense, man.
Better than getting Jerry Jeudy. Come on now.
No, Jerry Judy's right good right now.
It wasn't for us.
He's number 2 on the available though, so. Will Johnson was ahead of him, another DB from Michigan.
I think he's injured though, and I think that's why he keeps dropping. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it.
What's the cornerback do?
What Patrick Surtain does.
Oh, you don't need him.
Oh, do you guys want to see what Holly's doing? Everyone say hello to Holly.
Everybody can see Holly sitting behind you.
No.
Did she give you the finger?
No,
Probably. Well, I hope not. As you guys can see here. But no. Put it back. Put it back up there.
Let me see my foot.
What do you want to see?
Nothing.
See her feet?
She's doing her nails.
This is not that kind of channel.
It's not.
Spencer.
There you go.
I didn't think we were gonna go there.
Nope, I didn't either.
You have to go there.
There'll be someone out there that sees this show,
And
they'll
then
put,
they're gonna start
you
putting
money
in like
Yep.
money tips. So what do they call that thing? What is it called?
Super chats.
Super chat. There you go. He's
We're
like,
not. This is not big enough channel to get.
He's like, how do I
nowhere
put
near.
it? How do I put it in hot? What is it called again? Super chats. How do I put in super chats, Spencer?
I don't have enough followers. You have to get to 500 followers to get monetized, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I'm a long way away from that.
Honestly, a lot of us have a long way.
It's funny is I see people that are like at 400-500. Next thing I know, they're at 1,500, and I'm like, what? But they do shows every day, and then they push themselves onto other, of course, and then if you go on any channel where there's like controversy or you can get those numbers boosted up pretty quick. So
well, the denominator, Gary, is they're usually outrage baiters.
that is true.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing that all three of us have: we have JOBs,
yeah.
and that's So I'm not hating this pick, but I'm not loving it. If that
Well,
makes
he's as far as best available, they had to pick the two seat center backs that were available, and he was one of the two. So you got the essentially the best player at that time in the draft. So so here we go.
I mean, it makes sense on that surface level of it when you put it down like that.
Not necessary though.
I mean, I think about it because when I look at the Broncos, that's the one position I don't think they were ever at need at.
Mhm.
Because you had Riley Moss, you had Pat Surtain there. You just locked up.
Well, they're on the phone. Pick is in for the Steelers. I don't know who's talking, but it isn't.
It's not going to be.
They just showed somebody else. I don't know which quarterback. Well, I don't know what position coach that is that's on the phone.
It's the Steelers. They're going defensive tackle, in my opinion.
Okay, well, it doesn't.
I don't know that.
I don't know who the quarterback coach is for Pittsburgh, but it didn't he looked like a running back or, as you said, a lineman. But Steelers coming up.
Probably Jaheed Campbell. I just wonder what the Broncos Twitter's going through right now because.
That's stupid.
I know. I already told you I was going through the Dallas. I didn't even look at the Dallas board. I just went to one of the Dallas streams, and some people are like, "All right, I'll see you tomorrow." We already screwed this one up.
Yeah. So.
So I think Mel's saying Shador should be off the board now.
I know who it is, but
it's not Shador based on who was, like I said, who was talking on the phone. I figured if it was the quarterback, then the head coach for Pittsburgh would still be talking to him and hang up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And not somebody else. So as you said, it's probably somebody else. But here comes the pick, everyone.
I'll tell you, I was looking at this, and I'll let you do the honors here in a second. Go ahead, and I'll speak.
Derek Harmon, one of the players you're talking about, defensive tackle from Oregon, 6'5", 313, second defensive tackle position rise in the draft, goes to Pittsburgh at number 21.
I would have absolutely taken him. 6'5", 313. Space Eater.
Right down the middle.
I don't know. Anyway, I was just thinking, like, you imagine I would have gone to the draft in Green Bay just for the sheer fact of you get to go into Lambeau Field if you get to go inside the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not there for a game, obviously, so it's not the same. All the history, the Bart Starr, the Brett Favre, the people that have played there. I think that would be a cool experience in itself. So
they only get one.
It's weird. It says 6'5" on the ESPN thing, but then it says 6'4". I think probably at the draft at the combine. So
a
couple
that's
inches.
A good defense. Look at the Steelers. You got Cam Hayward, Derek Harmon, T.J. Watt, Joey Porter Jr., and Mika Fitzpatrick. That's a good defense. So who's going to throw the ball though? Oh, again, these things. I mean, there's nobody here that's going for Shador. Chargers, Packers, Vikings, Texans. So what I assume happened is the Broncos probably were looking at best available, probably took some phone calls for the pick, didn't like the compensation, didn't like where the return pick would be, and decided not to do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're sitting back in the draft now, you're like, I ain't giving up anything. So
Yeah.
like you said, this Harmon is number 2 in terms of defensive tackles,
Yep.
and
They only have one pick.
Yep.
a lot of these players
Andrew's
are.
still on the board.
I mean, there's 4 players, 5 players, 6 players that were still supposed to be drafted already that are still available.
And again, like the thing that I love, I was getting ready to type up 22nd pick, and I typed out New York for some reason. It's not happening. There's something that I really think about when you think about the draft in general. Like, there's probably 4 or 5 running backs, and I'm okay with the Broncos going and getting. So again, I wanted Mario Hampton. I would have wanted Coastin Loveland. I would have loved to have Tyler Warren. Didn't happen. There's other tight ends that I like. There's other players out there. And again, like, if you've got Riley Moss, Pat Surtain, and I'm trying to buy into the pick, if that makes sense right now. I don't know if I'm completely sold on it because I wanted running back. But again, the defensive tackle like Harmon, I would have killed for that pick. Put him and DJ Jones up the middle, and now the defense gets even better. I don't know. Well, for me,
your friend Dominic is hoping Sanders is there because, like, I don't think anybody at the bottom.
I think he will be.
Anybody at the bottom of this draft is picking him. What is up with my computer today?
I think he'll still be there when this is all said and done. I really do. Because you're looking, the next few picks are the Chargers. They're next, and then I think the Green Bay Packers. They're not. There's someone that's going to trade out. If they come back up, but I don't know. I'm surprised we've only seen one trade.
Yeah, like if you look, like you said, the last 4 picks, last 5th picks, 6 picks, 7 pick, 8. Don't think the Texans need a quarterback.
Nope.
Minnesota doesn't need a quarterback. Green Bay doesn't need a quarterback. Chargers don't need a quarterback. So there's nobody in the last 11 picks that needs a quarterback.
And here's another thing too. Mario Hampton could drop to that second round. That is a possibility. Jeremiah is best available. He's got the linebacker from Alabama, Mario Hampton, Golden out of Texas, Imanowari, the safety out of South Carolina, Will Johnson, Shador Sanders, Green out of Marshall, Starks out of Georgia, tight end Taylor out of LSU, and then an edge rusher, Irazuka from Boston College. So there you go.
Yeah, so there's nobody that needs him. So what's crazy is, I mean, the Browns should just go get him.
Well,
they will because they've invested so much in. I mean, they could take this 2 second-round picks and get a first-round pick late, right? If you're a team, right, like at the bottom of this draft. And somebody said, I want your first round pick because I want to get Shador. You take my 2 second-round picks. They're the next 5. They're in the next 5 picks of the second round. You take it, right? You take it, right? You get a top 35 player potentially if you trade down to the second round for the Browns picks if they wanted to come into the first round to get their man.
Here's the flip side of that, though, Gary. You may not have to move at all. But if you're the Browns, so let's think about what the Browns are. You will have to move. I'm completely wrong. Because
somebody. Well, you know what? The Browns have the first pick, so
the Browns have the second pick in the first round, in the second round. So
they have the second pick. I thought it was a.
So if you were going in the draft order, it was
Tennessee. The Browns have the first pick. The Giants, Tennessee, and then the Browns have the 4th pick in the second round. So they have, like I said. they could the only reason why they would move up is that they thought somebody else was going to move up to take Shador, but there's nobody. None of these teams are taking anybody. So the Browns probably can just wait and get Shador in the first round, get it in the second round if they think nobody's going to move up. But I think if somebody were to move up, that might be cause for concern.
I think we're going to get a trade here.
Is this how what?
Might be a
Does
trade.
anyone actually say no to being drafted? I mean, say like for example, you say you get picked by the Cleveland Browns, and naturally, my natural first thought would be I don't want to play for the Cleveland Browns because they're the Cleveland
quarterback
Browns.
quarterback for who is it? That quarterback that said no, I'm not going to play there, and they had to make a quick move. I think they drafted him, but then they actually had to make a trade soon after because he's like, I'm not playing for you. I forgot his name.
Yep,
but
you've got the Philip Rivers, Eli Manning saga.
Yeah.
That played out in 2004-ish, 5, I think. Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger was in that draft. Eli Manning and his camp said we weren't going to play for the Chargers. The Chargers drafted him anyway and traded him to the Giants.
Yeah. So you know what? When a player tells you they don't want to play for you, it shows bad. It's bad on that player, but it's also you don't want him on your team. You might only pick him for capital, right? Because you can move him around because somebody else will take him because he's that good, But yeah, it's kind of a dick move, but because you're hurting a team, but you know what? If you're not gonna, if you're already thinking that way, you better off. It's like when somebody says they're thinking about retiring. Well, you know what? You've already retired. You don't just start thinking about it. It's already you're retiring, right? Are you going to give your all for that team? No.
Yeah. It reminds me about the 900 times I've retired from YouTube and then I'm retired on game day.
The crowd is cheering. You're like, I just can't stay away. They're calling my name, and you just run out on the stage. I get it.
I'm addicted to
is Shador on the phone? I don't know. The screen is frozen. I'll
tell you what.
The pick is in for the Chargers.
This guy said, I can't even go ahead. Let's go. I'll shut up. Broncos Twitter right now is kind of going funny. Not in a bad way. Because I don't really follow. Yeah. I only follow like the reporters, right? I'm interested. I want to hear what people's takes are tomorrow. I really do want to hear. I know what mine is. I told you guys earlier in the process. As long as Denver gets 3 types of players in the first 4 rounds, I'm okay. So I don't care where you get the players. Get the players that'll make the team better.
Spencer's sitting there right now.
They're dragging this thing out. The pick is in. The time is already over, and they got some guys singing.
Give me a 2003 Tom Brady right now.
2003 Tom Brady.
Could be that Paxton Dart, man. Could be that guy.
Could be. This has been good tonight. So far, I can't complain. I think it's made the draft a little bit more enjoyable.
I thought I had to ride in the morning, but I have a doctor's appointment, so I don't have to ride in the morning, so I can sleep in. There is what's his name, the brother of the Ravens coach.
Nevermore.
Ray Lewis.
No, the brother of the coach. Here comes the pick for the Chargers, number 22 in the draft.
Harborough boy.
Yeah. Well, Marion Hampton, running back from North Carolina, is off the board, folks. The second running back.
Oh no!
Second running back is gone, folks. 6 foot 221. Number 2 ranked. Let's see. Let's get the stats for him.
This is not going to go over well in Broncos.
Yeah. No, this running back is gone. He is 4.46 running back, 1,000 yards. Catches the ball out the backfield.
Oh, my lot are next.
He will block for his quarterback. So there you go. He is off the board. He's going to. Where is he going? I just forgot who I just even said.
Oh, the Chargers.
Chargers. Sorry,
Yeah.
you got a good running back. He's got just some big, strong legs there. It looks like so.
We're going to take an offensive lineman, I suspect, because we
That's
usually
not going to go over well in Broncos country. Hampton's blend of power, quickness, and speed is impressive. He runs behind his pads and bursts through narrow seams between the tackles. All right. I don't like doing rants. I'm not going to do a rant. I'm just going to say this much. All right.
You know what? I want to hear a rant.
There you go. This is where I'm irritated. And again, later in the draft, could pick up the guys we need. The Raiders just got better with Ashton Genty. He's going to run on you now. And now the Chargers have added a Mario Hampton. You're already chasing the Chiefs as it is. The Broncos are a decent team. Probably you could make second place. You argue where you want to put them in the pecking order of the Chargers. And now the Chargers have taken a player that maybe the fan base. I don't know what the ownership. I don't know, but for me, you couldn't run the ball. You haven't had a 100-yard rusher in 30-some games. What are we doing? That's where my frustration comes up. And now, granted, it could be Devery Henderson in the second round. It could be Judkins in the second round. It could be whoever. So I probably just breathe. But the reality is the Raiders and the Chargers took two players that I wanted. And that's where it's hard to swallow tonight. But that's it. That's the rant I'm giving you. I'm not going to rail scream. There's more picks and there's more players available. But anyway, we're going to celebrate Mr. Tom's team now. The as we like to call them, the Green Bay Packers.
I've got to be honest. The first thought that in my head when you said that, I was sitting there thinking Leeds United are in the NFL draft. But
so Packers last year 11-6, finished third in the NFC North.
Greatest team in the world. Greatest team in the world. I don't even care that they didn't win the Super Bowl, but they should have.
They can always win the Super Bowl in Madden, Tom.
They usually did when I played.
Yeah, that's the way you got to do it.
I would have been the highest. I would have had the highest amount of passing yards ever on Madden 09 and Madden 10 and Madden 11. But obviously, I played the full time limit game, so I was like, I ain't playing enough seasons to merit actually getting 35,000 points or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yards, sorry. Michael Jordan wishes he was as good as me on NBA 2K24. So
there you go. Tell Michael to live up to your standards. Speaking of which, I think they announced today the College Football 26 is now available on PlayStation to pre-order. Whatever. So
are you pre-ordering it?
No, I know. So no, because I'll probably end up getting the disc version. So I was I played the previous college game just over and over again. So I actually bought a digital and disc version. So, but I bought the digital one. I bought was an actual you remember back in the day. I mean, Gary, I don't know how many video games you played, but me and Tom probably more this generation. I think we're similar in age. You would go to GameStop and do the yearly midnight release. I actually got a steel case for that one. So, I mean, that's kind of going back to like mid 2000s, right? With steel cases and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So when they said there was one available, I was like, oh, I'll definitely get a disc copy of this. So. Did you call me a nerd? It's not very nice. Holly called me a nerd.
You did have the most nerdy rant I've ever heard in my life, though, based on, and I'll say this in a nice way. You sat there and went, I'm going to have a rant. And it was basically the most polite way I've ever known anyone to ever say they were going to have a rant. Which automatically made it massively nerdy, but I loved
it. Yeah, I just wasn't going to. I'm upset, but I'm not like livid. Just because I know you can find better players or similar comp players at later.
Yep.
But again, this is the biggest fear. Like the biggest fear coming into the draft before the season ended was that the Raiders were going to be the worst team in the NFL, and Shador Sanders would be the number one pick, and I was going to have to stare at him for the next 10 years in LA. Wasn't the case. But again, the Raiders could still hop back in and go get Shador. So that train is not done yet. But
That is very true.
But again, this is part of it too. Like there's no such thing as an easy route to the Super Bowl. That just doesn't exist. There's divisions that are easier than others, but I think the pick is in for the Packers.
I don't like most of the NFL teams for various tenuous reasons.
Yeah.
I don't, for example, I don't like the San Francisco 49ers, which
Yeah.
I imagine might surprise a few people because they're like, well, they own your football club. It's like, yeah, I'll take their money. In
Yeah.
fact, that's the best revenge, really. He's basically
Pick is
getting
in.
to waste their actual
They
money.
waited
on
till
my
9
football
minutes.
team.
I hear you, Mr. Tom. Continue. Sorry.
No, it's no problem, Gary. I appreciate them being made aware that
Did you
my
spray
team's
him
about
earlier?
to make a
No.
potentially
He's
bad
wet as to
decision.
be.
Or something like that, but usually do all right in it, to be fair. A name's about to pop up, and I'm going to know nothing about him. So basically,
But see, that's the exciting thing of it, Tom. You get to learn who this person is.
yes, that person is basically that person's real prize in this is not all the money they're going to get for being a first round pick for the Green Bay Packers, which most of the money goes back into the team by virtue of basically being a charitable organisation, to my understanding. They actually get the real prize of basically being Wikipedia'd by me.
Yeah. There's a stat, Mr. Tom, that is interesting. Like 1 in every 50 high school football players will make it to college,
Mm-hmm.
and 1 in every I forget if it's 200 or 300 college players will make it to the NFL. So the odds of getting in are really, really, really small.
So
I mean,
huh?
No,
I was about to say, are you saying that my odds of actually making it to next year's NFL draft are not great?
Yeah, it's probably 1 in a trillion. So yeah.
I would say, unfortunately, at this stage, Tom, I think it's highly unlikely. Listen.
That's fair. No, it's fair. It's totally fair. I'm very accepting of the fact that I'm probably not going to make it as a professional athlete in American sports.
You know, yeah, I have zero chance as well.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, legitimately, I wouldn't pass the physical for my knees.
I'm with you on the
They'd be like,
on the physical.
they're like, you can't squat? What?
I saw a photo of Michael Jordan playing beer pong, and the caption under it literally read, "Someone's about to be made very drunk."
Very true.
The GM for Green Bay is giving the pick, so here it comes. Green Bay at 23.
If they really want to upset me, they'll pick Aaron Rodgers.
You can't do that in this draft, dude.
No,
Only get picked once in a draft.
That would be funny, though. It's not going to happen.
I don't know why I said that about him. I think he was perfectly serviceable for my franchise.
Yeah, that's right. Green Bay has owners that are fans, so there you go.
Yep.
I'm surprised they don't get celebrities to read out the actual draft picks. That's very surprising.
You'll see the celebrities on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night will be a more. So, and again, tomorrow night's another night, Gary, where, they'll do picks will be in and they'll have somebody coming up there. It'll be like
pick is in. It's Matthew Golden, another
wide receiver
player that was slated to go pretty high, slated to go in the top 23. So he's just right on time. 5'11", 191.
Yeah, probably
got a nice gold suit with nice patents on it. The man is looking stylish, man.
Did the man
He's a
anticipate
sub
it?
4.3 40 dash runner. So he's got
Yep.
the quicks. There's only one of two players to run that fast in the draft. So there you go, one of the fastest players in the draft.
I'll
Yep.
still probably outrun him.
That means you won't outrun him. That's what that means, really.
Wow.
The casualness gang, it means you won't outrun him.
Yep.
I just don't want to. I just want to put up with your nonsense. You just whatever you're saying. I just don't want. No, I'm not going now.
Whoa, what happened over here?
I loved it, Gary. It was perfect.
Oh.
It was incredible timing and delivery.
This is the slowest like intro, man, because it's Green Bay, of course. He's got his bow tie. And his last name is Golden, and guess what? He's got gold on.
Golden.
He's got a G chain on for Green Bay.
I don't think so, but go right ahead and think
there's
that.
about 100 editors out there wondering, do I actually do the thing? And people go, what thing? Like, do I actually go, they've made the golden pick?
No, but he's thinking that.
I want a
Whatever.
golden ticket.
Yes.
Vikings pick is already in, so they're not wasting any time. They want to get out of here.
The Vikings are like, dude, what are y'all doing here? Like, I don't know if I like this suit, Gary. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh, I didn't say the suit was like something I would.
No, I didn't think you
to.
would either.
One, I don't think I can pull that one off. No way.
Do you think his mother is like, say, hey mom, I'm gonna wear this golden suit? She's like, okay? Question mark.
Oh, it's the first round pick. Come on.
Yeah. I do. Have you been to a Lambeau, Gary? Ever?
I have not been. No, I've only been to. I haven't been to that many stadiums. I've been to Candlestick.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to. I saw the Raiders play.
Actually,
you know what? Actually, no, I have not been to the 49ers stadium. I've been to Oakland Stadium when that was there. I've been to, of course, the Dolphin Stadium. Both of them.
Joe Robbie, yep.
Both of them in the Orange Bowl as well. I have been to for football. I haven't been to that many stadiums. I saw Dallas play the Dolphins in I can't remember if it was the Orange Bowl or not, but I have seen them play preseason. But I have not seen them play a legit game because, of course, they're in Dallas, and I'm not going to a game in New York to see them play. So,
no. Better going to a game in Philly.
No, so I'm not going to one there either. So,
well,
this man's got his grill. The man's got a grill.
Denver's having a semi meltdown right now. Here, Gary, I'll have to read this tweet via Vic Lombardi. It's now 23-2 Clippers run. Woof. So the Nuggets aren't doing well either.
Denver's aren't the Nuggets aren't happy with the pick either.
Matthew Golden's going to buy his grandmother a new house.
Eagles are trying to trade up.
Who are?
Per Ian Rappaport.
The Eagles, you said?
Yeah.
They got the last pick in the draft, and they want to move up like 3 or 4 spots. It doesn't even seem right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's see what else we got here.
I apologize to Tony Khan, but this is a genius move by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ooh, very nice catch there over the shoulder. The defender is like, "Where's the ball?" And he's like, "In my hand." Caught it like a bread loaf. It was like, boop, right in there.
Texas is back though. If you're really
because they're in the SEC. What do you mean?
Well, come on now.
It's called SEC, man.
No, come on now, Texas. Look, daggum well, Texas.
2 players from the Texas have been drafted. Are you telling me the SEC don't mean nothing? It means a lot.
I'm just thinking about what. No, it's the NIL. I know they're in the SEC. That's part of it, but
Vikings are
the
clapping
NIL.
it up. No, it's the Green Bay Packers room clapping it up.
Got Steve Sarkisian as the head coach. Texas wins the national title in 5 years. At least one.
It's going to be tough, I think, to win it because of the playoffs and getting through the SEC in general.
All right. We got breaking news from Adam Schefter. Hey, Kai.
Trade coming?
Vikings, hello. Giants are trading back up to in the first round.
Giants are trying to get Shakur.
I think so. I would think that would be a good pick for them.
I think they're going to give up their first round pick.
Do you know what I think is ironic about this one, and I think what I love most about it, and maybe it's overplayed, but Dion played for Dallas. Here we go. Hold on.
Donovan Jackson from Ohio State, guard, Vikings at pick number 24. He is. Let's see how far I have to go down to get to him. He is pretty far down here.
Do you see what Dallas started though? Dallas started a run on guards.
Well, yeah, because everybody's like, the top one's gone, so any moment the second one will be gone. Do I want somebody busting up the middle of my offensive line? No.
Well, they're showing this guy here on NFL Network. He's played guard, left tackle. Looks like he can play both.
Oh, trade.
Is this the trade now?
Yeah.
Who's on the board?
Giants have traded in. They've gotten they've given up 3 picks, I think, to get into the first round.
All right, trade alert. All right, Giants are back.
Giants are on the phone, and it's not whatever their head coach's name is.
Yeah.
So there's Shador Sanders, there is Paxton Dax, and now the head coach is talking, so it's got to be a big one.
Texans have traded the 25th to the Giants. Let's see, for a 34th, 99th pick.
They haven't shown Shador. They see his dad, but they haven't shown Shador.
And a third rounder in 2026. So if I'm the Broncos, I could have got an additional second round pick, well, swapping picks. A third rounder. I don't think I would have taken that deal. A third rounder in 99. So you would have picked
Jackson Dart isn't on the phone, so he's not going anywhere right now. Taking a picture with mom, I guess.
Rounder in 2026. And you know what I love about here's the unknown thing, Tom, and I'll give you the psychology of this whole thing here. The time this ends tonight until 7 p.m. tomorrow, people will talk up that 33rd pick. Gary knows what I'm talking about. That 33rd pick at Cleveland will become the most it'll be as valuable as the first round pick is.
And that pick is Shador Sanders. It would be ridiculous, or as some people would say, redonkulous. If he's still available, come round 2.
The hype around it. The hype around it, I think.
Pick is in for the Giants, so if that's not a quarterback, I don't know what else they're doing, man.
I don't know. We got 7 picks left in this draft. This has gone by a lot quicker than I thought it was going to, but a lot quicker.
I guess 3 hours, yeah. So they got an edge rusher, the Giants, and if they get a quarterback in the first round, who's their quarterback again?
So Russell Wilson.
No, I said quarterback. You just making up names.
No, Russell Wilson's there. They've got Jameis Winston and Tommy DeVito.
So yeah, you just making jokes. Stop making jokes. Can you be serious and tell me who their quarterback is?
No, it's the guy that cleans the jockstrap. Hey, look, it's Jackson Dart. I told him yesterday Jackson Dart was going to be the guy for the Giants.
He's already told us to pick, huh?
Well, someone's reading it off of Twitter, Gary. You know this.
Yeah.
Listen, if Jackson Dart goes before Shador, I'd be shocked. But if that's who it is,
you're shocked then based on this.
I like Shador more than I like Jackson Dart. I don't think Jackson Dart's horrific.
Paxton Dart, dude. Why are you making up names, man?
Paxton Dart? It's Jackson.
I thought it was Paxton Dart. Do I not have it? Do I have it wrong?
Say hello, Rudolph. Hello, everybody.
It is Jackson. Why I had it wrong?
Yeah. Wonder where Drew Lock went. Well, so there you go. So a second round pick, a third round pick, and then a third round next year.
Well,
Which makes me think the mock draft I did last night when I gave up a second and a second to move up to the 30th pick was too much.
well, they didn't name any. They barely put any of his passing stats in it, but he did rush for 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns. So that right there is when they're talking big about your quarterback. Even though Sanders, they don't have any stats in here. So there you go.
So just to let everybody know, Dominic said that he's just sorry for his language. I don't think he's ever listened to us before, so you're okay. You're good.
Yeah, Mr. Tom hasn't even said it yet, and
No, it's been very clean. But we have operated in profanity before. It's okay, Don. It's okay.
But I think YouTube blocked it or something because I don't even see it in the chat, but I see it in the back room here.
There it is. I didn't put it up yet.
No, I mean in the chat. It's not in the YouTube chat. It's not there.
Oh, okay.
So it must have just blocked it. You must have it set to just block. Oh, of course I'm not going to see it because I'm not a
I'll be fair with you. I don't know what I said anything to on here.
No, by default I think it does it. So.
Oh, default, it makes it clean. You're fine, Dom. You don't need to apologize. You're good.
They don't show Jackson Dart talking to anybody right now. He's in Utah. Oh, he's picking up his phone, or he's looking at his phone.
Is it him?
He put it back down. So if he was talking on the phone, he's already talked. So here we go. This is a long, drawn-out situation.
It really is.
I mean, we're talking at like 3 minutes since Dominic mentioned a name.
Well, you know what they're doing. They're having to make the jersey for no one that's not going to be there. Someone's going to be.
You're right about
Giants
that.
had the little Jordan Humphrey. That was a good pickup. Sarcasm. I liked little Jordan for a little bit, but he kept fumbling the ball. That was his biggest issue. Good old Rudolph. There we go.
Pick is officially. Jackson Dart is officially a
Wow.
Giant. You know what the problem with that is? He's like the stat they put up is his rushing stat, and the last time they picked up a quarterback whose rushing stats were mentioned when they were mentioning stats, they put stats in there. I think Jackson will be all right, but I don't know. I think it's a passing game, so we'll see how he does. Just hugging mom.
Well, he's got
He's
good
hugging dad.
intangibles as far as I do like the glasses though. I would wear some clear frames like that. Look like Gunner Blog. First team All SEC, 4,200 passing yards, 6'2", 223. It's not bad. It's not a bad height to weight ratio as far as
Pick is in. The Rams have just traded their pick to Atlanta.
Wow, now we're getting lighting up with some trades.
Atlanta is now on the clock.
Wow.
We're moving.
I wonder who
you want to have like 6 or 7 more picks left, and we've already had 2. We're gonna have a second trade already.
I imagine this is going to be Jihad Campbell, so they can add another defensive weapon. Brian Dayball is probably really happy right now.
Well, another stat with the Florida Gators.
Yeah.
Pass right down the middle. 2 DBs don't get there late. And showing him running the ball against Georgia. Took a hit. Should have just gone down, buddy. They're going to tell you to go down if you do that.
So here's the thing, though. Also looking at this, DeVito's going to get cut. So goodbye. Jameis Winston staying. Russell Wilson staying. Jackson Dart. I'm not saying. Okay, so he doesn't have to start immediately, too. That's the other thing with this, right? So that's what I like about it for the Giants. You can play Russ if you want. You can play Jameis if you're really desperate. At this point, I think Jameis is better than Russ, 100%.
We'll find out.
Problem. So I'm not Jameis's issues. I mean, he's a Florida State guy, so that's an issue in general. I mean, just regardless. But I mean,
he likes crabs a little bit too much.
Yep. Unfortunately, oh man. But his problem is like his decision making on the field, right? He's thrown a lot of picks.
Man, do you remember what he did in that one game?
Yes, 30 touchdowns, 30 picks in one season. And then on top of that, against Denver, he threw 500 plus yards. Which again, when I think about Denver's defense, I keep wondering about our pass defense and whether we did need another cornerback. Now, the more I think about it, I need to go back over here. I've been kind of bad with this.
Oh, he sees traits in Dart that he saw in Josh Allen. I don't know. We'll see about the arm strength. I don't know about that.
Well, if you go look back at Josh Allen when he came into the league, you know, it wasn't really good, right? So it is possible that, you know, you're sitting here and you're like, you know, maybe I can make him good. So 26, Atlanta got the 26 in the third round, and then I missed what they had there, but
showing the last four quarterbacks to be picked in the first round for the Giants: Phil Simms, Phillip Rivers, Daniel Jones, and Jackson Dart. Even though Phillip Rivers turned into, some say, a Hall of Famer, I just say a brother of a Hall of Famer.
Well, here's the other thing, Gary.
Here comes the pick for Falcons. So tell me in a second here, because this pick's coming in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Falcons at 26. They're going to take. They moved up for this. James Pierce Jr., edge rusher from Tennessee. Another SEC player. This is like how many in a row now? I don't know. Defensive end. The man is, let's see what he is. He is 6'5", 245. The fourth edge rusher in there. 4.5, sub 4.5 on the 40 for a big man. That's pretty fast. Quickest 10-yard split, 1.56 second for all of the edges. So he's quick off. He's going to be quick off the snap. You know, despite having shorter arms for an edge, he shoots his arms and transitions from speed to power. So, yeah.
So if you look at this, so I've got the defensive stats from 2020. Last year up. So Broncos were 22nd in the league with yards given up. Now, I wonder also 500 yards for that one game with Jameis Winston, but they allowed 64% completion, which is in the bottom half here. So again, I don't know, man. Like I'm starting to buy into the corner pick at this point. And
it's a need, but it's whether or not it was too early or not.
Correct.
Whether you can get a similar quality player later in the like it would be better if gotten the better. Like I always feel like you're in the first round. If you know, it's got to be a player that I don't know. You're not feel like you're taking a risk on taking them too soon for.
And that might be the best available
or talented. I don't think he was the best available.
Well. Let me see here.
I don't think he was the best available at the time. I think he was 10 or 15 spots from in terms of available players on the list. I mean, Cowboys picked theirs 20 spots. So there's 20 players that look like supposedly they're more talented, whether or not But he's the first guard off the board, so you saw 2 more guards go since then. So there you go.
So here you go. This is from Next Gen Stats. Round 1, pick 20, Broncos. Jaheed Brown, defensive back, Texas. Byron Aaron, the 5th highest Next Gen Stats overall draft score among prospects in this year's draft. Byron will now team up with Pat Surtain in a secondary that allowed the 2nd lowest success rate against the pass last season.
So you didn't really improve you're already solid there. You just added to it. So are you better off for it, or could you fix something else and build something else from the bottom up? You know, that's kind of what I see based on what you just said. The green room is looking really empty right now. It's just some straddlers, people sitting around. I think there were 2, 3, 4. There's probably about four players still left in the green room.
I mm,
I get going to the going to the green room just because guess what? You only get to do it once, and then for the rest of the time you'd be home anyway. So what's the difference? You know?
yeah,
I feel like walking up to go, you know, it's the chance to do that. You know, only 33 people get to do that every year. The commissioner.
So the Ravens are on the clock. So I'm predicting the Ravens are going
Pick
to
is
take
in.
Will Johnson.
The pick is in. Are they gonna take a risk on him?
I don't this one screams Ravens, right? Will Johnson.
Mm. They don't need a defensive back though. Oh wait, they do need a center back. Sorry, center back. Oh my gosh.
We do a lot of football. It's okay. We're we're mixing.
Oh, we
up
lost
our-
Mr. Tom. Did he say bye or did he
I don't
just
know.
skip out on us?
No, he's still there.
Oh, okay. You know, I just saw a blank. I just saw it's just all
Tom.
blank.
If you want to go to bed, you're on mute. Hey Tom.
I thought the screen was.
My apologies. My apologies.
If-
I was
if-
I was taking off to delete things off of my laptop.
Oh, if you were tired or wanted to go to bed, you don't have to stick around. It's up to you, man.
I mean, I am tired, but at the same point, I was taking advantage of the opportunity to actually get stuff done.
You're good.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel obligated. That's don't want you to,
No, I appreciate being invited in the first place. I wasn't expecting it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, why the hell not?
I'm gonna go take my contacts out in a second. But yeah, I think this will be fun to hear the analysis over this tomorrow, Gary. I really this is again I've had a hard time really doing content for this channel when nothing was going on and plus work requirements. So it's easier to do stuff now that there is content to talk about.
Yeah.
So I don't want to just do a show for the just to do one. But this has been good tonight. I've enjoyed this. We were going on 3 hours. Yeah. So let's keep looking here. We got, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more picks, I believe. And then we're done. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm going to take these contacts out and put my glasses on. Be right
No problem, dude. I'm going to turn off my alarms tomorrow so I can wake up not too I can wake up in time for my appointment, but not what time do I have to be up? That's 6:30. 7 for 7:40. So if I let my alarm go at 6:30, I'll be all right. I'll do it. Let it go for 6:30. All right, cool. So we got 4 more picks. Is it 4 more picks? We got actually we got 5 more picks. Well, one's already in, but we got 5 more after that.
Is that the Ravens are up next, are they?
The Ravens pick is in, so we'll be hearing from the commissioner in a little bit. And so we got we got 5 more picks coming up. One's already in, so we got 6 players whose dreams of going to the NFL will be picked tonight. First round pick is good because
not for the Browns, obviously.
No, the Browns, unless they move into the first round. So here we go. Ravens pick is Malachi Starks. It's a defensive back. Yeah, Malachi. Where are you on my list here? Oh, 12th. So he's like according to best available, he's 12 on the list here. From Georgia, another SEC player, just ahead of Shedeur Sanders in terms of available players. 6'1", 197. Second best safety in the draft. So this is a good pick if you're looking for a safety. 3-year starter. So that means he's got, he's been playing football and at a high level. He's won national championships as a starter for Georgia. So he's got that on his resume. He'll miss some tackles, but he tends to screw up and wrap up. So there you go. So he's going to whiff. But but he defends well in the air. Malachi Starks is gone off the board. Safety, number 2 safety on the board, Georgia is gone. Yep. Now the Gator, they have to show him against the Gators, of course, and see what he does here. He puts a hand on the ball and knocks it away from the running back coming out of the backfield. Very nice.
Hold on here.
Does he get a pick on this one? Yep. He just goes high points that one, and the running back is on the ground. Against Oregon. What does he do here? Long ball. He sees the ball. He goes get the ball, and he picks it off. Oof. That was a terrible throw. That was an underthrown ball. He comes. He's got his pink suit. Oh, he just slaps the Ravens. Got a pink suit, just like a velvet suit. It's got that little shine on it. Of course, he's got the gate chain with Starks and an S on his chest and a pink handkerchief. There we go. He's putting on his hat now. Ooh, hat's up. And off he goes to go see the commissioner. He looks pumped up for this thing, giving the commissioner a big hug and lifting him up in the air. Some players are happy to. It's just good to see players that are happy to be out there, man.
Yeah, and I think I would just wonder, like you and I, like we grew up fans of teams. Like, I think you would learn to like if you were drafted by the Raiders or whatever, like you'd be like, okay, I'm drafted by the Raiders. Like, it is what it is, right? I still think there are people that grow up liking a team and play for the rival and still end up liking the team. I just think that happens.
Yeah. Well, they want you, right? So
yeah,
nobody's usually settling for a player. They usually want you, whether they were going to pick you now or later. The Lions pick is in. The phone was just passed to. I don't know who that is because that's not the Lions head coach. So, that's the second person that had the phone. So I don't know. Yeah,
and I think sometimes in these war rooms, they sit there and they're like, the coach calls, the GM calls, the owner wants to talk to them, and
yeah.
So yeah, we're looking at least 5 more picks. I don't think Cleveland trades back in.
No, Shador is not coming off the table. Nobody's going to want to give nobody's going to want to give anything to come in and get him anyways. So,
well, I think here's the difference too. So if he goes second round, the expectations drop a little bit. Maybe not because of the name, but I'll tell you what, the Giants are forever going to be tied to Shador Sanders, and only because they picked Jackson Dart over him.
Yep. If it doesn't pan out for them,
yeah,
people can go. You didn't go and get the second or first ranked quarterback. So here we go.
If it fails for both, then it won't be. It'll be
so if it's not the Browns, tomorrow, then it. I don't know if Tennessee's looking for a quarterback.
No, they just drafted one at the Cam.
So then it's the Raiders who aren't looking. Are they looking for a quarterback? Because they would be next. The Raiders are probably not looking for one. New England's not. I don't think the Bears are. The Saints. I mean, the Jets are 10th in this second round, so the Jets might have a chance to get a quarterback 10th in the second round if nobody wants Shakur. He might drop to 42nd if the Jets get him, and that would suck.
I think we have now created a perfect Dr. Gator.
What do you mean?
I made a meme for everybody.
Oh, no.
I don't know if this is going to work out, but there we go.
Oh, crap.
So Dr. Leeds, we got Dr. Gator.
That is terrible.
Hi, everybody.
Are
There
you
you
looking for an interception? Do you like fumbles? Hey, 3rd and 1,
Do you?
and you get sacked? Come to the Florida Gators now. That's not what happens.
There
That's
you go.
what's happened. Here we go. The pick's in. Lions at 28. The pick is Ty
28th
Leak,
pick.
Tyleek Williams, the defensive tackle from Ohio State. He is
Wow.
Where is he in this list here?
Tyleek Williams,
He
tackle,
is
Ohio
far
State.
down. He's not in. Oh my gosh, am I right? Yeah, he is not in the next 25 best players available. Unless I'm reading this wrong. Nope. 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 I don't know where he's not. I have to go into the top 50 available players to see how. And there's an edge rusher before him. What am I doing? Did he already come off the? He might have come off the board already.
Somebody had Oreo locked up. Sorry about that. Okay. Now everybody's on.
Here we go.
I love
Tight. 6'3", 334. 8th position, 59th. That's why I didn't see him. He's 59 in terms of overall ranking, 83 grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So Commanders on the clock. Edge, safety, cornerback, wide receiver, running back. Tyron Williams. Let's go to this one. Offensive tackle. Interesting. So that means he has basically been drafted over other tackles.
Yep, he's the 8th edge, and I know he's not the. I know there are how many edges ahead of him?
7. I think if you look at the
Well, no, I was saying how many have not been drafted. So
I'm looking through right now. Will Campbell went. Membo went. Kelvin Banks went. That's 3.
yeah.
I think Mikael Williams. No, he wasn't an edge. I'm not going to count Booker because he's a guard.
So two.
I'm counting 3 so far.
Yeah.
I think Gary counts Booker either, in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least 4 more ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. But as Daniel Jeremiah has, let's refresh it, see what he's got best available. Golly. Jihad Campbell, Nick Imanwara, Will Johnson, Shador Sanders, edge rusher Mike Green, Mason Taylor out of LSU. Josh Simmons is the other tackle out of Ohio State. Josh Cornley, tackle out of Oregon. Interesting. So again, round 2 tomorrow night. Browns had the first pick. I don't know how that worked. How the Browns had the first pick, unless they traded someone. I don't know. You've got the Texans 34 overall, Titans at 35, Browns again at 36, Raiders at 37th, 38th, Patriots 39th, Bears 40th will be the New Orleans Saints. Bears have a pick at 41. Jets at 42.
Do they actually they don't for a pick that you got from a previous season, they don't usually put down that it was just from a trade, do they?
No, and that's the thing here. So it wouldn't show on this particular
So that means that the Titans probably gave them a first round pick. But the Titans do have the 3rd pick, so and that's a little. They might have just switched, right? Because like the Titans had 3rd and the Browns have 1st. So, no, you know what? I think that's how they got their picks. Yeah, because
unless someone originally owned 33.
No, I think wasn't that the pick? Yeah, that's the pick. When they did, who did they trade with?
Jacksonville. So maybe Jacksonville had that
okay.
2nd pick coming into the day.
Okay.
Have a good night, Mr. Palmer.
Oh, all right, Dominic. Thanks for joining us. You traded up for
I
Dart.
know. I can't believe the Giants were stupid to trade it for Dart. I know we're stupid, but not even I thought we were that stupid. Well, that's one of those picks that you'll find out sooner rather than later whether it's going to work out. That's the reality.
New
Yeah, when
York
you trade up for a quarterback, that means you thinking he's gonna. I think when you trade up for a quarterback like that, you're expecting him to be able to come in and start to require minutes. So
I mean,
would they,
if they don't move up, do you think somebody else is taking Paxton Dart? They're moving. Does that
Maybe.
mean no? Because they had the third pick, right? They had a second or third pick in the second round.
so the Giants probably knew someone in this second round here was going to take him, and the Browns is the other one that needs a quarterback. The Raiders could potentially looking to draft a future, right? But the Giants had 34. Well, here's the difference with Jackson Dart. This is the only caveat I'll say, but drafting Jackson Dart in the first round, you get that 5th-year option. So you get him under team control for 5 years. Vice, if you do a second round and back, it's 4 years, and you have to pay him if he's good.
Is that an option year, the 5th one, or is that
Yeah, first round is automatic 5 years. So that's another reason why teams.
Is it an option that 5th year, or is it like a guaranteed 5th year?
It's an option. You have to exercise it. But
Okay.
the first round picks get the 5-year contracts, whereas the people that are second, third could get 3 to 4 year contracts. So you get that rookie deal extended for an extra year. So that's what the Giants are looking at when they made that call.
The pick is in. It looks like, and it is Josh Connolly Jr.,
29.
offensive tackle from Oregon, 6'5", 311, the 5th best position, 32nd. So he's taken a couple picks before he should have. 87 grade. Josh Connolly.
Good pick because it's another opportunity to help protect the young man that the Commanders really cherish, and that would be Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, you go back, you mentioned earlier, Detroit Lions took Tyleek Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Commanders took Josh Cornelly. So what was the difference between the two as far as what each team saw? So
true. So
that becomes Bills are on the clock, Chiefs, and then the Eagles. And then the first round is in the books. I mean, looking back over this draft, Cam Ward, number 1 overall, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, Mason Graham, Genty, and here's another one for Jackson Dart, the Jets. Who's to say the Jets don't become a team that jumps back in and gets Shador?
I think the Jets have screwed themselves. I don't think they have enough draft capital to move around like that. I think that's the thing with them. They've done some crazy moves. I mean, crazy moves. They needed to kind of just settle and keep their picks and stuff like that. But I believe they've traded some away. So
I think there's truth to that. But not having that. Not having that first that quarterback. I mean, who knows what Justin Fields does, right? I don't feel Justin Fields is a bust yet. Because he was picked 10th overall by the Bears. His Bear career could be considered a bust, but it's just that one. I don't think he's ever really been on an extremely talented team. Even that Bears team that he played on towards the end, I don't know. I don't think that he's a long-term solution for the Jets, in my opinion.
Yep.
And again, that's an organization that's just been a straight dumpster fire. I was texting Tom this week about it. And, I think you go back to the 95 draft and Kyle Brady was taken and the fans wanted Warren Sapp. We saw what Warren Sapp turned into, a Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion. Kyle Brady, I don't remember how long his career was, but it was nowhere near what Warren Sapp's was. Following year, 96, Keyshawn Johnson is the first overall pick. Who throws him the ball? I don't know. So like there's just the Jets are this calamity of eras of an organization that
Yeah, Bills
it's
pick
like,
us in.
all right, go ahead with this one. 31st overall, 30th pick.
Yeah, they're showing a picture. Got a big head of Josh Allen.
That sap really doesn't like Dwayne Johnson, does he?
No.
Because I believe you've sent me 2 things of him, and both of them he talks about Dwayne Johnson. And I'm like, okay, sir, I kind of understand that you do not like Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
I get the point. You're probably better at American football than Dwayne Johnson was.
But Dwayne Johnson is way more wealthier than he is.
Yeah. But the fact that he played for University of Miami means he was a good athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be a good athlete to play there. So, especially back when he was there. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bob Marley's son was on the team as well. So yeah, and good athlete as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's probably known for his wife more than he is for his football playing. So there you go.
Bob Marley Jr.
I think his name was Marlon.
I thought it was Ziggy, wasn't it?
Johan Marley.
Hmm.
No, Ziggy's a younger brother. I think it's Johan Marley. Johan Marley. His wife is Lauren Hill. So the black eye. Is it Black Eyed Peas? No.
No, Lauren Hill was from the Fugees.
The Fugees. There you go.
And Sister Act 2.
And Sister Act 2. So we've got the commissioner coming out. There's somebody who's going to announce he's in a wheelchair. So this is kind of cool.
Oh, here we go. Here is a stat that stands out for new Broncos cornerback Jaheed Barron. In 2 games against Georgia, Barron had 3 interceptions. Coach Brian Daboll has said at his press conference that Russell Wilson will be the starter.
Who's Russell Wilson playing for?
He's like trying to get the Bills riled up.
Giants. Poor kid. He's a Bills fan.
What does he have?
I don't know. He's a Bills fan. Do you see that Bills hat that one guy has?
I would try not to look at anybody.
It's this. I'll have to see if I can get it. It's a super cool '90s Bills hat.
There it comes. Bills at 30. Pick.
Oh,
Maxwell Hairston, center back out of Kentucky. 5'11", 183, the 4th center cornerback ranked off the board, number 18 overall, so he's dropped a bit. He was one of the players that was slapping all the other players as they walked by. I think a lot of the players that got drafted waited for him, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Came back and hang out with him for a bit to make him see him good. So he's off the board. He's got a blue pants with a nice silvery jacket up top. So
Interesting.
He's happy to get drafted.
Well, I think his look is Kentucky there. I think he's trying to represent.
I believe he's the 3rd fastest player in the draft. Oh, wait. He ran the fastest 40 regardless of position. So he was the fastest player in the draft. So the 2 top So if you can run under a 4.3, you probably get drafted in the 1st round.
Young man, now you're going to go play at Buffalo. Enjoy the cold. So that talking to my buddy at work today, that's what he wanted. He wanted a cornerback.
So there you go. You got the cornerback. He's a little short, but he's got the speed to get there. So
do they still do a game in Toronto?
I don't know. I don't think they've done that in a long time.
No, it's probably you probably lose money when you do something like that. So You lose a lot of revenue,
I
like
think
when you
the
try to bring that
Bills.
money across the border. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially now. Canadian dollar is very weak to the U.S. dollar, relatively speaking. Um, and I think with the Bills being good, I think there was a threat of the Bills when they weren't good. Like I'm not saying there was a lack of interest, but I think the team being good now, absolutely eliminates that conversation. Winning does that, right?
Hmm.
Um, I mean, do I think that the NFL would love for them to be in a bigger market? 100%. Um,
A little pick six there from the
yeah.
20. That was
We
a
were
terrible throw.
In your knowledge, guys, what is the biggest market NFL wise that does not have a team?
Ooh, that's a good question. So when I think about that, like I would say Austin's a pretty big market, but that's Dallas, so I would count them. When I think about a market that doesn't have a team, that's a really good question.
It's hard because all of the big cities have one, and
Mm,
if they don't, a city right outside of it does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
wow.
like, I mean, San Francisco doesn't have one, but I mean,
Yeah.
um,
Santa
but
Clara.
but Santa Clara is a Santa Clara is a bit of a drive from San Francisco. So
Right.
if you think San Francisco is a big market, it maybe so it's a really small city.
That's a good
Um,
question.
but
I
San
remember
Francisco
reading an
might be one.
article about that. As random as this sounds, I remember reading an article about them, the San Francisco 49ers doing a survey of how basically would people go to the new stadium, because
Yeah,
obviously it came up based on the fact that San Francisco 49ers are looking to redevelop Ellen Road into a 56,000 seater, and that is kind of going to get a go based on promotion, I suppose. But reason I'm linking it to this
Mhm.
is because they found out people people were essentially going to the game still, just based on the fact that it was a part of town which they would willing to go like and then travel for an hour or whatever it was. I think that's madness personally, but it's why sport has become very touristy. Because I travelled for about 4 to 5 hours to go to Ellen Road.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sitting there thinking it's mad to travel more than an hour to go to watch American football.
I mean,
Even though
you know
I
what?
live
But you know what? It's
36.
so easy to be an hour away from whatever from something
Yeah,
like that because you know, like if you live in the city of New York, it probably takes you an hour to go see the Giants play in New Jersey.
yes,
Easy, right?
yeah.
yeah.
And where Philadelphia Stadium is, I don't think there's that much around it in terms of residential neighborhoods. So you're coming from a bit out of the way when you go to a team like that. So an hour is probably nothing. I know in my friends who had season tickets in Florida for the Dolphins, it's about an hour commute for them. And that's because most of it's because of the traffic going in and out and stuff like that. But you're dealing with that. So yeah, no, it's probably easy to do an hour in most places just because sometimes the stadiums are out in the middle of nowhere sometimes,
I
or if
strongly
you
believe,
or it's in the middle of the city, right? It just costs so much to live there. And you're like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I strongly believe organised sport should probably be abolished because it wastes so much people's time.
But
And
then
then,
like, go ahead, go ahead.
no, just generally, because like people go, oh yeah, but your team are currently winning, Tom. It's like, yeah, that's true, but I know that's not going to last because it's going to hit August, and then then the bottom will fall out, obviously, more than not. But still, I just think in general, sport is. Jerry Seinfeld said it best in a stand-up that I watched of him. It simply went, sport is basically you all getting obsessed over a specific piece of clothing because of the badge on it.
Mm.
But I
What
prefer
though?
having
The
because
clothes.
I can go on my social media right now and somebody on my timeline is either posting about a politician or who others,
Yeah,
and I just
yeah.
keep going because I don't want to read it. I don't care. Like I want to watch sports. I want to play my video games. I want to be a father. I want to be a husband. I don't have time for, you know what I mean? So the sport is meaningless as it is, feels less meaningless than some of the political stuff I see people post at times. Just me.
I find
Um,
that wild, like the extent to which people go in on politics
Yeah.
stuff, and a lot of it, and don't get me wrong, a lot of it is very serious stuff, and people take it seriously. But then
Yeah.
people take it seriously in such a way where I sit there and feel like, what is the best you can hope for by saying what you've just said? If you get what I mean.
what I've noticed more in this generation, and or like I said, we're not talking politics here, but like whatever. So it's like
Of course.
what I notice is like people like will disown people for having different opinions, and it's like I just like my argument then becomes like, were you ever really friends, or like I mean, I don't care if someone has a different political opinion. I don't care. Like, you're entitled to your opinion. You're
My
entitled to.
thing with it, Spencer, I'll just say it very quickly. I don't care what your political opinion is. I don't care what Gary's political opinion is. But I know there would be people that would have a weird opinion on my
Yeah.
political opinion. And I personally don't think I have an opinion to which I make it sound like I do. But what I mean is basically I could say something on politics, but I
The
know there are
Chiefs,
people that would find a way to get upset.
the
Sorry, Gary.
Eagles have just traded. Is that right? Eagles and Chiefs have
Eagles
just
and
traded.
Chiefs swap.
They
Yeah.
moved up. Eagles moved up one spot.
Yeah.
They
That's
moved up one
it's
spot,
rubbish.
and they gave up, an extra pick in the 5th round. So
What
interesting.
happens
I
in
think
that
they're probably going
situation,
offensive
Gary?
line.
Does the clock stop or does it start again?
It
Or
starts again.
Yeah.
okay, fair enough.
Mm. But yeah, no, I find sport as a distraction, man. I mean,
Jahad Campbell from
yep,
Alabama,
linebacker.
linebacker, 6'3", 235, the number one. I'm assuming. I don't know if I think he's is he inside? No, he looks like an outside linebacker. He looks really small. Um, it looks small in the picture, but that man looks big in the on the screen. So I don't know. He must have like gained a lot of weight since the
He's 6'2",
college day.
235.
Yeah, he looks like if you look at the picture they're showing on the
Yeah.
on ESPN, like he looks bigger. He put on a bit of weight and he looks bigger. Like I don't look at the same guy. Maybe they got the wrong picture because that can't be a line. That's not a linebacker I'm looking at. That looks like a cornerback. He's got the arm sleeve and everything. So yeah, I don't think it's the same. I think they got the wrong picture.
So
They definitely got the wrong picture.
I'll tell you what. And I mean, I find this. I just find sport to be an escape, man. I think we're all looking for escapes from the daily grind of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess my thought when I was watching the green room and this reaction as he's walking through is how you'll turn this on Saturday and there'll be like 10 people outside and how it just dies. The event goes from, that's the craziest things in life to me is like a Super Bowl, like the hype, and then boom, it's done. Like the ups and the downs, Champions League final, whatever, FA Cup final, whatever, like probably Wembley Stadium, both clubs, fans there, ready for the game, and then one team wins, another team loses. The team that loses, their fans are going home, ejected, and the other ones, you know what I mean? Like that's, I don't know, man. Like I think sport's good, man. I think it teaches teamwork. There's a lot of good things, especially with young kids in sport. I think where it gets unhealthy, Tom and Gary, on this is when like you lose your mind over stuff and it ruins your weekend. And I've had moments where Arsenal have done that, and I've had moments where Denver's done that. So that's where you have to compartmentalize and make sure that it doesn't affect your daily life and you're not able to function. That's when sports becomes too much.
Sportsmanship.
Well, no, it's understanding. It's understanding. Sportsmanship's part of it, but it's also understanding, that you still have to get up in the morning and do what you have to do in life.
It's not that big of a deal.
It's a big deal, but it's not a big deal where you
Is
lose.
it some people say what is the least big deal of all the?
It's not life or death.
Yeah, Marcelo Bielsa once said football is the least important thing out of all the important things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I guess for me, like you can enjoy it like the crazy. You can do the craziness, I think, until you get to the point where, like, when you leave college, essentially, when you start have to be responsible, then it changes, right?
Yeah.
You gotta, like you said, you've got a mortgage to pay, bills to pay, college to pay back. You know, you have you have a family, your kids. You're
Yep.
holding your kids, watching a game, and then you do what you usually do, and you realize quickly, okay, when the baby's crying because you just screamed at the TV, it's, it's not you. You kind of look at the game totally different after that, and you're like, wife's like, "You're okay holding the baby? You're watching the game?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be all right now. I did that one
become,
mistake beforehand. I'm not doing it again." You know, because
become very good at screaming at the TV in your mind.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, your kid doesn't hear it at all. So I've done it on both sides where I made the noise, and then the next one I just watch it and go,
You
"Damn,
learn
that
to not
sucked."
use the
But also, like you said, you know what? I'll be screaming at the TV and stuff, but once I come off screen, there's not, I don't, there's nobody to scream at anymore. So I'm done. I can go about my day, and I try to, like, I do it when I'm watching it because that's when it means that that's when it affects. That's when it means more, I guess, or however you want to say it. But when you turn the TV off, you move to the next channel. It's over with. It's done. Not much you can't bring it back. It's happened. You lost. You were winning 2-0. You lost 4-2. What can you can't do anything about it now. Let's go into the next game and get ready. I'm still going to complain about it when I talk about it, but I'm not going to be talking about it all the time when I'm away. I just talk about it when people want to talk about it, right?
So
So that's
yesterday,
how I control that stuff.
not to turn this into an Arsenal thing, but yesterday I went to the gym and I was working out during the second half of the game before I went and picked up the rescues. And when we gave up that goal, I'm in the middle of the gym and I'm like, I said a curse word, and people probably looking at me like, I wasn't loud, but I was like, I was definitely like, I was angry, I was irritated with it, and I just kept working out. But then I went on with my day.
And Chiefs pick is in.
But it's those little moments, right? You got to figure out how to. I don't know, man.
Mm.
But,
Yeah, I just feel like in the moment it's really that's when you can let it all out, and then when you get away from it, then it's Josh Simmons is off the offensive tackle from Ohio State is off the board.
So we spent 3.5 hours talking
Mm.
about the NFL draft tonight, and
Yep.
honestly, like, my mother would probably be like, what a waste of time. But like, what else was I gonna do with my night?
You're gonna watch. You probably get. We would probably watch most of it anyways. Now I just watched it a little bit longer with people that want to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
So
I'd have a different answer to all that question.
You wouldn't watch it at all.
I've not been able to watch it. Presumably it's on TV in England, but same point, I was just like, Spencer's going to help. Spencer and Gary are going to tell me everything that happened. That's relevant knowing. So
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I was about 5 picks ago considering going to bed. Then I got to the stage of like, no, I'll regret going to bed in case it turns out that the first round of the NFL draft, like, has one of the players goes berserk and then tries to stab someone or something like that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't think that would have happened. But at the same time, let's see here. I'm trying to make sure I get this picture.
There's only about 2 more picks left. So
there we go. No, it's over now.
Is there 2 more picks?
No, the round 2's tomorrow.
Oh, you're right. It said Houston 34th.
Yeah, everybody, people are scattering like a. But yeah, this was fun tonight. Like I said, I've got to get ready for bed myself. But yeah, thoughts on the first round, Tom?
Oh, it was amazing. I've never been more excited by an NFL draft for opening night in my life. In all seriousness, I do appreciate the invite, and I appreciate learning about a different sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary? I mean, the one thing about
you're not going to test me on it.
Yeah, the one thing about this is where people try to look at the American sports versus the English sports. Like, it doesn't happen in English, in football, in Europe, basically, right? The best players don't go to the worst teams.
Yeah.
Best players go to the better teams.
Yeah.
So then you have a monopoly on success. Sanders is smiling, so he must be going, you know what? I'm just going to have to put a chip on my shoulder and see this thing out. You know what? When you have a 4-year contract, it just means you get paid sooner.
Yeah.
A lot of times you get the big bucks sooner than the player that has the 5-year contract. So you might make up the difference.
And, I mean, I'll say this much, and I'm sure the Shador thing will come off. What if he just stayed for one more year? I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know how much better can you get?
I mean, apparently, well, I'll say this much: that the NFL told Shador what they thought of him tonight.
Well, everybody had him ranked 35th, and he's probably destined to go 35th.
But I think the thing that he needs to understand is I don't think it's got anything to do with who his dad is. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think just some teams look at him differently. And I think
it's what they need as well, right?
Yeah.
Only 2 quarterbacks got picked out of 30, so
yeah.
And one team had to move up, and the Giants aren't necessarily like a team that, damn, they didn't pick me kind of thing you're looking at, right? So
I'll tell you what.
So
last year's draft's quarterback class is going to be looked at kind of like the 83 class was. And I say that, I know most of us have only played 1 year, but you also look at it, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, and Bo Nix. The only one out of that group that hasn't played is J.J. McCarthy. Drake May had a little bit of rough start, bad team. But there's a good chance all 5 of those could hit. And the 83 draft, obviously, we're talking Elway, Marino. So we're still, like, it's out there. But this draft, the quarterbacks going from the 2024 class to 2025 class, there was a dip, right? So, that's why I think a lot of people said if you weren't going to get your quarterback this year, then next year was going to be hard. But anyway, with that being said, we could talk about this more later. I know Tom's ready to go to bed.
Can I just say one more thing, please? Because it's going to be stupid, I promise you.
No, go ahead.
I would like to thank Spencer, in hindsight, for not making a drinking game of 1983 NFL draft, because I would have been killed if we had to drink any time that year or particular draft came up in conversation, I would have died. So thank you for that. Some would say saving my life.
Yeah, and just because we are Arsenal fans, and it is the sky has fallen. William Saliba has committed more errors to goals in his last 3 games than he has in the combined 126 games. He's got 2 in the last 3 and 1 in the last 126. So the sky's falling.
Are you saying that basically, based on that statistic, in comparison to the previous statistic, everyone, in terms of Arsenal fans, should all crack each other's skulls open and feast on the creamy goo inside?
The smooth brains.
Yeah.
Yes, I would, Ken.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, he is. He is having a little. He's falling asleep at the wheel, but this is. I think the team has put him there. So, yeah.
I mean, I blame Saliba on that one. I also blame Raya. What are you doing all the way over there too?
Well, stop blaming. Stop even bringing up the goalkeeper in that situation, because you know what, the players know that the goalkeeper's off his line. So stop it. Stop it. Everybody's complaining about Raya being high off the pitch. Guess what? They love when Raya's up at the pitch when we're moving along. But when a player makes a terrible pass like that and puts Erdegaard, who even doubles down on like Erdegaard poor talk, right? Then it just messes up the entire thing, and then Raya gets chipped, right? It's just like, nah, Raya's not at fault. I'm sorry. I don't know. You're not. The fact that you bring his name up is you're trying to get something out of me. You're trying to piss me off.
I just like my goalkeepers
No.
to stay in front of the goal.
No, that is
Sorry.
stupid. That is stupid in this day and age, and you know it. So
I
let's move
believe my
on.
footballers should put their.
That means that's like saying your
Tail.
quarterback should
That
not
was
run out of the
amazing.
pocket, and then you're going to tell me Bo Nix can do that, right?
Listen,
I've been tired for
footballers
about
should
an
tuck
hour,
their
but
shirt
not
in
awake.
as well at
Shut
all times.
up. This is really nonsense.
They should only wear Asics shoes.
This is
and
nonsense
the ball
hour.
should be white with black patches.
Nonsense hour here.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna head out.
Hey,
now.
your center back won the Jim Thorpe Award. You should be like jumping up and down doing push-ups, man, and jumping jacks.
I'm talking
The
myself.
best DB, the best DB in college is who you drafted. The
I'm
best
talking
DB.
myself into it.
No, you don't have to talk yourself into it. He's the best DB in college sport last year. You got the best player in that position of the field.
I didn't
Easy.
see it coming.
There's nothing to build. There's nothing to build on it. It's probably you probably didn't think they needed a center back, but you got the best center back available.
It's a cornerback, Gary. It's a different sport. You keep doing that. It's okay though.
Oh my
It makes me laugh.
gosh!
It's 11:51. Listen, I think that's.
I did notice that at one point because I believe Gary did. I sat there thinking, "Wait a minute, isn't the position cornerback?" And I was like, "What? Why? I think he thinks it's centre back." But I didn't know if I'd misheard it. So thanks.
Yeah. I said it at least
Oh,
4
good.
times. So
Well, I probably missed it the previous 2 times, but I did catch it once.
No,
But
it's
still,
all good. I'm just making a
probably
joke.
done worse. I've probably done worse
Wow.
in all seriousness. I am going to go because I don't want to sound rude or that because
Nope.
I probably really should in hindsight because it's 4:51 a.m.
Well, thank you for joining Bronco Talk. I am probably not going to do the outro, but I may do it.
that's a long intro. I liked it though because it's quality. So there you
let's
go.
let's do the outro. Let's just do it.